Robbie Williams Rewind.
Welcome to Robbie Williams Rewind. We are the champions. I'm Matt.
And I'm Lucy.
And along with help from special guest fans, we take you on an in-depth rewind through the solo career of multi-award-winning singer, songwriter and entertainer Robbie Williams.
This episode, we're discussing Robbie's Under the Radar Volume 2. And we have Georgie from Australia joining us.
Hi, Georgie.
Hello, the champion fam. How are we going?
We're good.
We're very good.
It's nice to meet you.
I know, albeit all the way across the ocean, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Georgie, tell us, how did you become a Robbie fan?
Yes.
I first became a fan when I was 6, so I'm 26 now. It's quite vivid. I was literally I think I was just colouring in at the kitchen table, and my mum kept playing the same song over and over and over again. I was like, what's this? Who's this? And it was Roberto, as we're probably guessing by now. It'd be a bit awkward if it wasn't. But she was playing Feel over and over and over and over again. And there was kind of this intrigue that kind of ticked in me. And I'm just kind of like, oh, wow. We went on, and I took Mum's album and I just kept listening to it. I kept listening to Escapology, and, you know, it just never died within me. Obviously it's 20 years later, and it's just always stayed with me, and it's been he's been a very massive influence in my life, you know, down to, you know, my sense of humour, very much who I am as a performer, and everything like that. So time ticked on, the obsession's still there. Like grade 1, I think I sang She's the One to the entire class, and grade 2 to a project on Roberto, and yeah, it's just gone. It's just kept going. It hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
And I don't think it ever will, to be honest, at this point. It's been 20 years.
Right.
No.
It's the longest relationship I've ever had.
So I'm intrigued. Do you think that Rob's had an influence on you becoming a performer? Do you think he was a part of that, or were you already a performer before you were 6?
Yeah, I was pretty much, I just came out of the womb and just jazz hands, pretty much.
Jazz hands, yeah.
Jazz hands. But it was, no, I think he's influenced how I perform. I think there's very much kind of a fearlessness to it at times, and just I would just sit and just watch him. Like Nebworth, I'd just watch over and over and over and over again, and I'd just be like, oh wow, like how he's doing that and everything like that. Like it's definitely had a massive influence of how I've kind of tackled it. But no, I've apparently I would be sitting in like the baby seat in the car and just gabbling in tune at like 18 months old, and my mum was just like, where the hell has this come from? And we're just like, guess she's a singer, that's fine.
So is your mum still a Robbie fan?
She is, yeah, she is. She's obviously not at the level that I am, but she does, yeah, she really likes him still. She thinks he's very funny. She still listens. I think how many times has she seen him? She's seen him 3 times now. Mm-hmm. Kind of not exactly my 12 or 10 or something like that, but you know, she does really like him, and so does my sister. Also really likes him too. So my sister's been to a few gigs with me and really, really enjoys it.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. My brother not so much, but that's fine.
Right.
So have you got a favourite song or favourite album?
I'm a sucker for Escapology and Feel. They're very much that nostalgia for me. I just don't think there's really a crap track on there at all. I just think it's just peak, like very just it's how I also like his music as well. I love like a bit of pop with a bit of rock mixed in there, like your monsoons, bit of tongue in cheek. I really like how that's done. I also really love Intensive Care. I think that's just musically very beautiful. Like just the choir and the arrangements of all those songs are just stunning, just beautiful.
Yeah, they are.
They're just gorgeous.
So you've seen him about 10 or 12 times, you reckon? When was the first time you saw him?
I saw him. It was my very first concert, actually. It was the 18th of December 2006 it was the Telstra Dome at the time. Now it is Marvel Stadium here in Melbourne. It was the closer of his Close Encounters tour.
Wow. So you were only little then?
I was 10, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just a baby. And it's only, I kind of realised, like, he opened with radio, then went into Rock DJ, and I kind of, in the middle of Rock DJ, I kind of realised, I'm like, oh my God, I'm sobbing. It's just this little girl just sobbing, just like, and it's Rock DJ isn't a song you sob to either. Like, it was just very, I was just like, oh my God, he's on the way over there, but he's there. Like, so it was a lot for my little brain to be like, oh my God, there he is. So, and then Swings, no, it is 12 actually. It's 12.
Yeah.
Because the Better Man biopic gigs ticked over to 12, which was also a very special couple of gigs.
Yeah, we were going to ask you about that.
Tell us more about what happened with those.
I'm a performer. Like I studied musical theatre in at uni in Ballarat, which is where I'm from, regional city. Yeah. An hour and a half out of Melbourne, and basically, like, there's some casting websites, and like, you know, I've got an agent, but he doesn't really do film and TV stuff. It's more theatre stuff. And I was on this casting website, and it's just like filming extras wanted, like MEAA rates, which is the Performers Union, and I clicked on that, and it was just like, we are seeking people in a crowd for a big upcoming film, all done in Melbourne. And I'm just thinking, I think I want to know what this is. So I clicked on it and went, and then I kind of waited, and on my profile it's like a face to camera kind of introduction thing. And it's just like, you know, tell us about yourself, how old you are, and something like a fun fact or whatever that isn't like performance related. And my absolute go-to is like, oh yeah, my name's Georgie. I'm 26 years old and I kissed Robbie Williams, and that's it. And I'm just like, I'm really, really hoping that they'll click onto this profile and see that. And sure enough, we got to the next stage of casting, and then they're just like, hi, thank you for applying for Better Man. And I'm just like, okay. And they're just like, we need a full headshot. Like, we need a head, like, chest up shot of your head, and we also need a full body shot, which is, you know, they kind of need that sometimes just to see whether you're a fit. And basically I just thought, all right, I'm going to have some fun here. So I summoned my I Heart RW shirt, shoved it on, the full body shot, and they're like, yeah, no, you've got the gig. And I'm like, so, it was 2 pretty full days of just screaming, which was very tiring, as you can imagine, if you're going all guns blazing every single take after take. Yeah. It was really awesome, and obviously we got to do the filming during the show as well. This was the first show, and it was it was so like, it was just such a pinch yourself moment for me, because I'm like, I'm here, my first film and TV gig is Robbie, and I'm here, and it was, I was one of the older ones there, like, because they had like a heap, they were filming for Take That in the 90s, so it was like a heap of like quite young kids as well. They're just like, I've got to go back, like I've just got, I've got a exam coming up, and I'm just like, oh my God. Really? Don't do this to me. Don't do it. But the most frustrating part was they didn't do their research at all.
What, the other extras?
Yeah. And they're just
so
like,
they didn't know the words and that sort of
thing?
thing?
They didn't know nothing.
Oh,
They knew.
dear.
I know. And I was just like, oh, this hurts. This really, 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 really hurts me. So they just like, because they had some things written on their head, like they had Gary and TT and whatever, and they're like, what does TT stand for? I'm like,
oh, for goodness sake.
Oh my God.
Don't hurt a child, don't hurt a child, don't hurt a child. I'm just like, it's just like, oh man, it just, but I thought they'd credit to them, I thought they'd conk out of energy when Rob came on stage, and I'm like, they won't know anything, they won't do anything, nothing. But credit to them, because they didn't know anything. They had to do something to keep it like lively and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they did really bring the energy for him, which was quite good of them, I think. And I think Robbie even said, he's just like, what age does it get to a point to where people just, the person's on stage and they go, yeah, do this, and they just go, no, I don't think I will, actually. No, stuff you. Like, but they were very good. They drove me mental with some of those, like, which one's, who's who? Like, which one's Gary? I'm just like, it's fine, guys, it's fine. I'm here. I'm, you know what? I'm here to educate you. We're doing the given circumstances. We're doing the who. We're doing the what. We're doing the when. We're doing the where and the why. And I'm here to tell you everything. So
you did get to see Robbie at the actual shows.
Yeah.
Was there anything else? Was it just the shows that you saw him at?
It was just the shows that I saw him.
Yeah.
We obviously had a lot of interaction with Michael Gracie, the director. He was really awesome. It was really amazing to see how they are putting it together. Like, the boys, they announced the boys who were playing Take That, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So
they have.
They were fantastic as well, and they were really very sweet. The guy, I cannot remember his name, the guy who's playing Gary Barlow, he's a lovely English bloke. Let me have a look.
I can't remember all their names.
No, I definitely know Howard, because he was in a production of Jagged Little Pill in Melbourne. So Jake Simmons? Yeah. He at the end of the day, he kind of came down and said, and thanked us all very much. I'm like, oh, Gary. Like, it was very sweet. They were all really, they're all pretty, they've got their mannerisms just down. They're very good. It'll be very exciting.
Great.
Wow, what a cool experience.
It was very special. And, people were just like, I was obviously starting to get a bit nutty, because I'm obviously very tired and I'm very excited. I'm like, oh. And they're just like, they were starting to look at me like, is this here all right? And I'm like, no, you don't understand. You don't understand. And I think once they kind of actually clocked that this was such a huge deal for me, they're like, oh. They're like, actually, you've kissed him? Will he recognise you? Will he actually recognise you, though? I'm like, he might, actually. And they're like, oh, my God, he did. So it was very sweet. It was very sweet. I got a lot of interaction, probably because I was one of the few extras who knew all the words.
Yeah.
So it was just like, they're like, did he was a bit over to that side. Was that where you were? I'm like, yeah, I was there. I was there. So it was very, very special, very cool. I'm very much looking forward to seeing it, as I'm sure everybody is. So it was very cool. It was quite nice. Like, I paid for half of Rob's mansion and that paid for my rent. So, that was very sweet of him. Very sweet of him.
So you're saying that you kissed him. You need to tell us more about that.
Oh my God. God, we've got stories today, haven't we? I was 19 and it was after an incident in Brisbane in 2015. It went a little bit viral. It was like he was talking to this girl in Brisbane, and you might remember it. It was like, oh, Morgan, like, he's like, you know, I like the secretary look with the straight hair and the glasses. It's like, you know, it's like a secretary look, which reminds me, I need to delete my browsing history off my computer before my wife sees it. And then she's gone, oh, it's my birthday. He's like, oh, it's your birthday. How old are you today? And she's gone, 15. He's gone, oh, shit. Like, he's like, don't put that up on YouTube. And surely enough, there it was. Millions of views later. I can't remember how many it's tracked now. But, yeah, I saw an opportunity, basically. And I was doing all 3 of the Melbourne shows for Let Me Entertain You tour. So I had a sign and I said, here for all 3 Melbourne shows, can I have a kiss? And then I was just like, oh, I'm feeling a bit cheeky though. Like, I'm feeling just a little bit cheeky. So I put an asterisk next to the word kiss and then just put underneath, can show ID, 19 and legal. And and I just thought, oh, just feeling a bit cheeky. And on the second night, he spotted it after She's the One. And he read it out. Everybody had a laugh. And he's just gone, how can I refuse that? And at that collective moment, I lost all composure that I had there before. And then it got pulled over by Kerry. And they're just like, babe, come here. And I just grabbed his head and just kissed him. And it was just, and like, you don't know what to say because that's the first interaction with the man. And I just turned around and I just went, I love you so much. He's like, I like you so much. I like you a lot. Not sure about love. We'll have to work on that. And I'm just like, no, that, you know, well played. You know, I've roasted you and you've just come back and absolutely slammed me. And it's just like, fair play. So that was, well, we're coming up, that's 7 years since that happened. And I tell everyone. It's my favourite thing to tell people. So, you know, it's very special. So
yeah.
Oh,
and then you had some very good luck this week.
I did.
Because you met Robbie, didn't you?
Yeah, very timely.
It was. I know, how perfect was that podcast time wise. It basically is doing the AFL Grand Final today in Australia, which is, well, especially in Victoria, in Melbourne, is a very, very big deal. We have our own public holiday for Grand Final Day, which was yesterday. We've had 2 public holidays. We had the morning day of the Queen, and then we've had the footy. I know, crazy, right? So I knew leading up to this, I'm just like, I have to do what I can. So he was doing an appearance on the project. This I did know. There was a heap of like the Melbourne crew that actually got tickets to go in. I did not know, and that the tickets were available or whatever, but they'd sold out by that point. So I'm just like, bugger. So I thought, it's all right. I'll just do some lurking. Yeah. So I kind of sussed out, like they said the car park as well might be an area, but like I kind of didn't get any, like I'm just like, there's nothing really here to indicate that they're taking him in. The only place that kind of gave me any indication, they kind of like had a little kind of barrier-ish thing out the front. So I thought, I think this actually, I reckon like I'm getting vibes from this one. And like and I was like the only one there. Because the other guys had gone upstairs to do the filming. Like there were some other people there eventually, but like I'm like, it's going to be here. I think it's going to be here. So sure enough, the man did show up, And, you know, there were other people like, oh, Robbie. And I'm just like, no, you got to be cool. Be cool in front of Robbie. Like, just come on, be cool. You can lose your shit.
He does prefer that, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Let's face it.
Yeah, look, he's probably had his fair share of just like... So kind of it was very sweet. He made a beeline kind of towards me. He's like, oh, hey, babe, nice to see you. And then he's asked how the acting's going. I'm like, it's going. He's like, it's going good? He's like, yeah, sure. So got a really sweet photo and I got a hug. Guys. I got a hug from him, which was very sweet. Just very, very sweet. And
I think I saw your arms like lock around his head, actually. That's what I saw in the video.
Hang on. I can't remember. It's all a blur.
Well, it was a mutual, but, you know, I saw you know, it went round pretty quick.
I kind of was just like, yeah. Just for those listening at home, Georgie outstretched her arms very, like, eagerly. Let's have a look-see. Yeah.
I'm not criticising you.
No. I know, no. Da. Yeah, my arms just went, yeah. It was just, I went for his head. I didn't realise, I thought it went around his waist, but it went around his head. I'm like, no. And so other people we did other stuff with, I got him to sign the album as well. I said, it's really beautiful. He's like, thanks. He's like, I didn't have much to do. I didn't do much. I'm just like, sure, like, you sure you did something. He's like, no, I just showed up, wrote some songs. And I was like, okay. All right, it's right here. I'll grab it. Aww. For those at home, it's a signed album of 25. It says, love, Rob. It's very sweet. Aww.
Well, how lucky were you? He was in the mood for a hug. He was in the mood for a photo and signing as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
he had time.
Obviously, he remembered you.
Yeah, that's very special. Like... Yeah, and to ask how the acting was going as well. I'm just like, oh, you sweet man. So it was, I feel a bit like, still kind of cloud nine-ish. So I'm going to try, there is a chance I'll be able to see him today because my mum and my sister are at the grand final. Who's playing is Geelong Cats and Sydney Swans. My mother and my sister are both Geelong supporters. They got tickets and they're transferable. So my mum went to me, she's like, oh, you know, you could go in for Robbie and I could have a pass out and then after Robbie's done you could go. But I think she had second thoughts the other day. She's like, oh, they're saying people might arrive late and I don't want to miss things. I'm like, Mum, if you take this away from me, I will never think, like, it's just like, please don't take this away from me. So I dare say I'll get in there today and I'm very excited.
Oh, great.
I'm very excited just to be there and just watch him. I'm very excited.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Oh, well, hopefully that happens for you today.
Hopefully my mum doesn't do the dirty on me. Then I'll just be like, you know what? No, I'm going to go get a tattoo in spite of you.
So just some of our other normal questions that we ask our guests. Yes. What does Robbie mean to you?
Where do I begin? An awful lot. I mean, he's a very massive, massive part of my life and has been like for 20 years. I think he is like just a masterclass of performance and entertainment. He is a incredible songwriter. Like just the fact that we get to hear him lay his soul so bare in a lot of his songs. And I think as well, I think as fans, we're very, very lucky. Like we could have absolutely idolized a dud, like an absolute dud who doesn't give a shit, who just doesn't care at all. But I think the thing that makes this so special is he actually cares. He does. And like he cares what people think. He cares about his fans. You know, just having him to be like, how's the acting going? It's just like, oh, wow, that's, wow, you really pay attention, don't you? And you really, you really care, which I think is very, very special. And, you know, growing up, like a lot of people, you know, growing up, like admire, just idolizing Robbie Williams as, you know, in, you know, some of the more interesting years, you know, rehabs and everything like that. People could have been like, oh, do you think it's okay for her, like, to kind of be listening to this or anything like that? But like, I guess I've turned out okay. Like, you know, I think, but like, it's been such a special part of my life, and a lot of people kind of come around and be like, you know what, he's you know, he makes you happy. And well, it's not like they were just like, they're like, oh, you shouldn't be blah blah blah. But I think there was a bit of like, oh, he's in rehab, is he? Like, it's just like, oh yeah. But you know, he's a good egg, and he cares. He's just, you know, it's just obviously just a very, very, very special part of my life. And, you know, I think it's nice to have that. You know, you can't, like, if you just put all your energy into like your job or this, and like, don't get me wrong, I love my job as when I'm on as a performer, it's very special. But, you know, I feel like if I just dedicate everything I have, like I do dedicate a lot to my life as a performer, but you need an outlet. Yeah. And, you know, for me, Robbie and going to other gigs and all that is definitely my happy place and my outlet. And, you know, he means the world to me, obviously, if you can't tell by the amount of gushing that I'm doing.
It's a good amount of gushing, yeah.
It's a proper amount of gushing, yeah.
I can tell you're holding back.
A little bit. I'm just like, I have to reel it in now. I spent like a solid 10 minutes talking about how I kissed him.
So if you could ask Robbie one thing or say one thing to him, what would it be?
Oh, damn. Okay. I don't even know. I feel like things, luckily, because we had the forum and we were able to have that and be able to be able to ask him things like, you know, just stupid things like, would you rathers? Like, there was a whole chat sesh, like, would you rather fingers for toes or toes for fingers? And like, I think because we had that outlet, I don't know if there's anything like really off the top of my head, but that's been like, I've been dying to ask this for years. But I think today, if we're going to talk about today, and he's got a massive, massive day doing the grand final, I would just say to him, keep it clean and be Robbie Williams. Yeah. And he'll be fine. And he will. He'll be amazing. It just no middle fingers.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Aussies might take to that a little bit better, but avoid middle fingers and just be Robbie Williams, and he's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he looks very at home. Lucy was saying to me actually just the other day that he seems very relaxed. We've noticed that he's obviously at home in Australia because there's a different mood. You know, he's just looks comfortable and happy, and his interviews are slightly different. It's hard to describe, but we noticed the difference. Yeah,
I think he said he feels like he can really, like, anything he kind of says anywhere else will get really taken out of context. But I think the Aussies kind of get his sense of humour a little bit more, a bit more tongue in cheek, which I think is very Aussie. I think he does have a very quite Australian sense of humour in a way, and he can definitely kind of be a bit more, like, he can say things here that probably won't get as roasted as they do in the British press. You know, and you can definitely see that he's seems a lot more like he can actually say a bit more here in Australia, whereas I think the UK, he's kind of had to just filter himself a bit, because obviously, you know, we know that the British press have been and still continue to be very brutal to him, which is just, you know, what is it, like 20 odd years of that, like just nearly 30 years of that. It's just that's exhausting. So no, we tend to, like, you know, he'll say something naughty, we're like, ha, legend. Like, that's kind of the Aussie way, I suppose. Ha, legend. Nice one, Rob.
So before we move on to Under the Radar, have you got any other great memories or moments that you'd like to share?
Not off the top. We've probably done them, to be honest. Like the most iconic ones, like, you know, being in the biopic, The Kiss, Thursday. Like it's pretty special. I mean, we've obviously had a lot of special moments on the forum. Probably too many to get into, but you know, they've been pretty gorgeous too. Just to be like, oh, he's on live. There he is. Hello. Yeah.
And of course, the great news for you guys is you've got a tour.
We've got a tour. I'm so excited. I was going to buy a new phone, but now this has thrown a spanner in the works. I'm like,
you've always got to work out your Robbie funding.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, in every case of my finances, I'm afraid it's just like, oh, sorry, Robbie. Can't, Robbie, you know. Sure, you get it. It's Robbie. So it's very exciting. It's still ages away though. That's the annoying part. But I reckon he'll come out for, I don't know when Better Man will come out, some point mid next year.
Next summer, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, possibly.
Is it? Yeah, it is.
I think that's what they said.
Yeah. So he might even pop down for that. I don't know where or what premieres will be there, but it's all been in Melbourne. So
yeah, he probably will do a premiere there.
Yeah, I reckon they might. And Michael Gracie's from Melbourne as well, so I reckon like there'll be maybe a London premiere, because obviously he's he's British.
Well, you'll be on the cast list for the premiere, surely.
Well, my cousin did a really silly thing and not silly, it's actually hilarious. He put me in the very early days on the IMBD page it's just like, of the cast. Like, he's just gone, Georgina Potter, fan. And then they saw that and put, like, the people who are, like, on IMBD at DB, or I can't remember what it is exactly, and they've just put in brackets rumoured, and I'm just like, no, not rumoured at all. This is absolutely blasphemous from this website. Rumoured fan, are you joking? So silly. Anyway,
right.
Shall we go on to the tracks?
Let's talk about Under the Radar Volume 2.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to Robbie Williams Rewind with the Champions.
So, Under the Radar Volume 2 was released on the 30th of November 2017. Robbie said, "It's got a special place in my heart. I hope it finds a special place in your heart too. Under the Radar 1 was received by you lot ridiculously. It warmed my heart, and there's plenty more to come, so stay tuned." Announced on the 1st of August 2017, a super limited edition album included your name, written by Robbie on the album work alongside his autograph, 2 extra tracks, 5 picture prints, an album booklet, a letter from Robbie, and a complimentary digital download. The deluxe edition was the same but didn't include your name signed by Rob or the letter. The standard edition was just the CD or digital download to be delivered direct to your inbox on release day.
The cover photo was taken by Ida in their garden in Wiltshire. For Under the Radar 1, Rob had wanted to use a New York City manhole photo, but the artist wanted £30,000 to £40,000, which he didn't want to spend. Because it's like under the radar, so I guess it's underground.
Not very exciting though, does it?
Too
Not very
expensive.
exciting, no.
Mate, I think you're good for it.
It's a very pricey manhole, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Crikey.
Oi, oi, oi.
So he decided to find a suitable photo on his computer. The Under the Radar 1 cover shot was from a holiday in Mustique when he was playing Uno with Ida, and the forfeit for losing was to jump naked into the pool. He decided to continue the arse theme as it's cheeky, irreverent and funny. He said, "Don't ask why I was up a tree naked, I just was."
As you do. As you do.
Oh, what a Robbie quote that is.
A lot of men have told him there was no need for the nakedness. His response to them was, "Sorry if it pricks your sensibilities. Actually, not sorry. It's just an arse."
It's just an arse.
He explained it's nice to have a bit of whimsy attached to what he's doing and that it feels like the musical equivalent to Mufti Day.
Oh, well.
Only Satellites, Bambi, Numb and Weakness don't have a video or a lyric video. A review in Renown for Sound reads, Under the Radar 2 expresses Robbie Williams' versatility. With clear influences from the 80s and 90s, its jazz and swing vibes and pop melodies, this album is an interesting collection of songs for Robbie Williams' greatest fans. However, some tracks feel like fillers, given their plain rhythms, Eyes on the Highway, or the arguably simplistic and repetitive lyrics, 9 to 5. Maybe there was a reason they didn't make it the first time. I mean, what a silly quote that is.
That person obviously has no idea what they're talking about because obviously Robbie didn't write 9 to
9 to
5.
5. One of the most iconic Dolly Parton songs.
Yeah, exactly.
And they've called it... okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
They've called it a filler. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. You do you, babe.
I mean, I'm not sure you can call any of the tracks on Under the Radar fillers, really, because of the way it's put together. I just can't,
Yeah.
So, and I would like to thank Rob, because obviously this was released the day after my birthday, which is on the 29th of
He
November.
knew.
So,
He knew.
yeah, it was,
Happy
it was
birthday,
there
Matt
for my
Champion.
birthday.
That's you. This is for you, Duff.
That's it.
So should we talk about the first song?
Let's.
Yeah, so the first song is Satellites, written by Rob and Stuart Price and produced by Stuart during the Heavy Entertainment Show era. Rob described him as a genius and a mega producer. Rob would quite often spend hours at Stuart's house down the road from his own in LA and do nothing but talk. Sometimes they'd actually do some writing. Satellites is about Ida. So many songs about Ida.
Yeah.
It's so sweet. So sweet.
Rob said, a lyric in there that I've been trying to get into a lot of songs for a long time, even on Progress. Every single city lights, seeking, sleeping satellites of hope. It's on 3 songs, that lyric. It found an official home on Satellites. It's about my wife. She's Ivy League, but one of us, and I'm Bueno Paranada, an addict, such a hot mess. I think it's a bit U2 themed, if it's anything like anything. It's about the love I have for her. In a nowhere garden, in a nowhere city, you will see our trail from here to Mars, and that's the way I quite often think about our love.
No.
Oh.
That's so cute. so cute.
Georgie, would you like to go first? What do you think of Satellites?
Obviously we're going to be very biased talking about all the tracks because it's like, oh, it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. I really, in fact, I feel like this is probably way out of the box here, but I feel like the very intro to that song, I feel like was a Spotify ad at one point. In a Spotify ad at one point. I don't know, maybe I'm completely wrong and I'm imagining things, but when I first heard that kind of intro, I was just like, that sounds like a Spotify ad that they did at ages ago. But it's, I mean, you have to assume at this point that it's about Ida. There's obviously you know, the references Ivy League. You just kind of have to go, yeah, look, I don't think that this is about like a former flame in like the UK or something like that, or anything like that. But it's got really beautiful lyrics, really gorgeous lyrics, and you know the just the some of them that you read out there are just gorgeous. Like you often forget. Like sometimes I often just don't just sit and appreciate his lyrics for what they are. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, just sing them, but they are really beautiful and very, very clever lyrics. Hang on, let's see if we can. I'll get them up off the top of my head. Oh, you type in satellite these days and the Harry Styles lyrics come up. How the times have changed. I still love Harry though. And ridiculous. Yeah, that lyric there, because she's in every single city light seeking sleeping satellites of hope. Like that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's just gorgeous. Like
it's also a tongue twister.
I was about to say, how is he getting that out? It's just, sometimes I just forget how gorgeous his lyrics are.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have to kind of stop and just look at them for what they are and just go, God, these are just beautiful. Like, you know, I don't think he hypes himself. Well, he does hype himself up, but I think in terms of like, you know, he talks about, you know, growing up in Stoke, like leaving to go join Take That and like leaving school and everything like that. I just think, I'm just like, these lyrics are somebody from very, very clever. Like, very, very good with, you know, he's very articulate. You know, that's something I think people tend to pass over because you've got like your very cheeky Robbie, like, you know, whatever. But you look at this and you go, oh man, your lyrics are stunning.
Exactly. They are.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
lyrics.
It's something that's been brought home to us since we started the podcast, actually, because obviously we deeply analyse everything and talk about it a lot. I mean, we talk about it a lot anyway, but doing a podcast, we must listen to these albums at least 100 times just on the run up to each podcast. Yeah. In the shower, in the car, walking around, you know, in the house, everywhere. And when you look at the lyrics, you're absolutely right. I mean, I think Calvin Daniel Rich said about this. I think he's still quite underrated as a songwriter.
Absolutely.
And I think in the early days, he had a lot of the usual abuse and crap from the media about, oh, you know, you're not writing the songs. And there was all that shit that went down. But actually, he does write the songs. He works with some great co-writers, but actually, you know, he's a genius songwriter. So
he is a brilliant songwriter. And I was, like some of his lyrics, like, well, but even the some of the really funny ones as well, like, are so clever. Like, top of my head, my favorite clever silly one is "I'm gonna milk it till I turn it into cheese," and that whole part in Kids that is like, I'm an honorary Sean Connery, born 74, and going into like bird watching and just and I'm just
ornithology.
Ornithology. Grab your binocular. I'm just like Billy Connolly. Come follow. I'm just like, you little shit. That is genius. That is so articulate and so dumb, but just so good.
So, what do you think about it then, Liz?
I love this song. It's got a great beat, and I like the line, "She made me drop the knife. I thought I'd never let it go." I felt like that was about like the change in his life. You know, he dropped his past life. He went to rehab and everything, and he's stuck to it for Ida. He's all the better for meeting her, and you know, she's made such a good change for him. I mean, obviously he's part of that himself. It's not all down to Ida.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of work.
Yeah.
But she's been
It's definitely, It's definitely got a cool vibe due to Stuart Price, I think, producing it, you know.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's got a good driving song, I think.
Yeah, it really builds in the beat.
Yeah.
It like that. Like you start with like a more muted at the start, and that build into the chorus, I think, is a really cool touch.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, that build.
That's what I
really
wrote.
Enjoy. Yeah.
I put the bass at the start.
Yes.
And then the keyboard.
Yeah. Really cool build.
What about you, Matt?
Well, I think you two have said it all, really, but I think it's great to hear a song that's actually entitled with one of Rob's favourite song filler words.
Yes.
Because satellite is a word that we know that he uses in his songwriting process. I don't know for how long, but quite a long time by the sounds of it. When he can't think of the word, he'll stick the word satellite in. And so I think this is very special, the fact that this has that as its title. So yeah, I think it's cool to see it actually in a song. And then I had to look up Bueno para nada.
Oh yeah, I don't know
mean?
that as well.
It means good, not at all.
Or good for nothing.
Yeah, I guess
There
I've
you
said the
go.
literal translation. Yeah, good for nothing.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that makes it. That really enhances it, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Well, it makes the difference when you know what on earth he's singing about, doesn't it?
It does.
And then I really like the lyric: "From a nowhere garden in a nowhere city, you will see our trail from here to Mars."
Oh, stop it!
Just
It's
a nice,
so cute.
It's just a nice visualization, that one, you
is.
know. Yeah.
God,
Like
he's
that.
good, isn't he? He's very good.
So have we gushed enough over satellite?
Yeah, I think we
Yeah,
Satellite.
sufficient level of gushing here.
So let's move on to 9 to 5, written by Dolly Parton, produced by Piers Barron and Tim Metcalfe. Rob described Piers as a British friend of Tim's, who's a big drum and bass head. It was nearly included on the Heavy Entertainment Show tour. Outfits and choreography had been created for dancers and big screen projections were ready, but Rob didn't feel brave enough to do it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Rob said, I don't think we set out to make 9 to 5. I just think there was a backing track that I heard and started to hum the melody to 9 to 5 over it. I love the song. I'm a big Dolly Parton fan. I know many people will find it sacrilege to even attempt to cover such a legendary tune, but it's another part of the whimsical mufti day that is the Under the Radar series. There's no pressure on it. Me just jamming over a backing track. It's just sat there for 3 years on my computer. It lifts me up and gives me a nice buzz. I hope it does for you too. And an animated lyric video came out on the 19th of January 2018.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I wasn't sure, is that meant to be Rob in the lift on in the video? I think it is.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Matt, what do you think of 9 to 5?
Yeah. I mean, when it first came out, I was like, oh, what's he doing? Because it's such a classic song.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think back in the day, like, oh God, it must have been it's such an old film as well, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
I must have saw it when I was a kid. A
Yeah.
very long time ago. So
I haven't seen it.
I sort of have vague recollections of it, you know.
It's playing in Melbourne at the moment, the musical version.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Ah.
Yeah, I know. I tried to audition for
Cool.
it. They wouldn't have me. No, actually, yes, no, I got called back for that. But the dance was just brutal. I'm like, oh, no. Sorry, guys.
Right.
Anyway.
Well, and we all know he loves Dolly. I mean, he has talked about it
Yeah.
before. And so I'm guessing this is kind of a bit of a tribute to her. It's slightly faster and a bit more of a pop version than
Yeah.
the original. So if you listen to the
Yeah.
original, it's obviously a little slower, a little bit more of a country twang to it. But it's a good, fun song, positive vibes. I like it. As I said, I was a bit shocked to begin with, but then it grew on me over time. It was like, yeah, this is, you know, he just likes the song and just wanted to do it, I guess. you
Yeah.
know, for no other reason than that. And
Yeah.
that's why it's on Under the Radar, I guess.
And he can. He can do
Yeah.
it. And chuck it on an album.
And you mentioned the video as well. It's a great animation which totally links to the story in the
Yeah,
song.
yeah,
know,
it's
the
good.
woman walking along. Her dress changes colour a few times. I don't know if you noticed that.
No, I didn't.
I think that's
actually.
purposeful. But
It's not, to be honest, for me, it's not really a song that I was ever fussed about, you know, by Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
I knew it existed, but not fussed by it.
I think she's got so many other iconic songs. I think, well, she's an phenomenal songwriter.
Yeah, she's amazing.
It's just like when you think Dolly Parton, you kind of think, I personally jump to like Jolene. Like, I'm like, that's Dolly for me. But you know, the 9 to 5 is like very much crept up and kind of been like, you just hear that dun 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 on the piano and you're just like, oh, and Dolly's playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not sure Rob should have covered it. It's fun, but I don't know. I feel like we could have had one of his songs on the album instead.
Yeah.
I'd always rather have his
There's only another 500 on his computer.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
And this song will always remind me, weirdly, of when Rob and Ida were judges on the X Factor. And
yes, that video when they were driving in the car.
Yes.
And they're like, and
but it was the Dolly version that they did.
It was the Dolly version, I felt like...
And I think they went to like McDonald's drive-thru or something with that playing.
Iconic.
It's funny the things you remember, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I remember that too, Lucy. I do jump to that as well.
Funny. And also, you know, he said he wanted to work with Dolly Parton at some point. Yeah. So maybe this was like his sort of foot in the door of trying to make her notice him.
Yeah.
Possibly. But obviously it hasn't really worked because nothing's happened since.
Maybe
I'm not sure
day.
Dolly's doing too much these days.
No.
I mean, she does make the occasional performance. And
she just does a lot of charity work at the moment.
Yeah, she's a lovely lady.
She's gorgeous. Yeah. Got a lot of time for Dolly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Georgie, do you like 9 to 5?
Look, it's a really good cover, and it's obviously it's good to have there, and like you know, other artists do different covers of different songs and everything like that. I just, you know, like you said, it's a lot more poppy, very much more Rob. But for me, I always kind of, you know, with 9 to 5, the way that it's done is so iconic. You know, that piano at the very start, you know, that it just feels like, it just feels so iconic. Like, it's just, you just can't really, like, you can't really replicate that exactly. But, you know, it's always taking a risk doing a cover of another person's song in a way, because, like, you want to do your own interpretation of it, but then people may be like, why are you changing it? Why are you doing that? I mean, if it was in its kind of, like, if he wrote it, it'd be kind of like, yeah, it's good. It's a good pop song. Like, it's really good. Like, I do enjoy it, but, you know, it just feels like 9 to 5 itself, and Dolly's original version is so iconic. It's just like, I'm very much in two minds about it. Like, I still enjoy it, but I just feel like that original Dolly track is just so, iconic. It's just hard to like, sometimes people can do covers and make them better than the original, but I don't think so. I don't think it's better than the original, but it's still good. It's still good. Yeah, I still enjoy it.
It's still good.
I still enjoy it
as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm in two minds about it, but I still, doesn't mean I don't like it, but it's just, that song, I just can't get over, like, it just, that kind of more stereo kind of dun 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 dun. It just doesn't have the same drive for me as that straight up like piano. I'm just like, just doesn't bang.
Have the same punch.
No, doesn't have the same punch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What year did 9 to 5 come out?
Great
I didn't
question.
look that up.
Let's have a look.
I normally
because I'm just thinking about what you were saying about the musical start. 1980.
Oh.
Was it 1980?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Right.
I was 4 years old. Maybe 3 years old, possibly. So I certainly didn't watch it when it first came out.
Wow. When it came out, the actual song, 1980.
I don't know whether you can see that on the camera, but it's probably a bit
Oh, for goodness sake, look at them. Oh, look at the perms. I love it. Oh, wow. That's amazing.
So, there we go.
So, should we talk about the next song, Miss Pepper?
Yes.
Right.
So this was written by Rob, Tim and Flynn during the Heavy Entertainment show period. Produced by Tim and Flynn. Rob stated it's not autobiographical and he sees it in a similar vein to Berliner Star. He's 17 in Stoke-on-Trent. He's going to pubs, fancies someone, infatuated, but not brave enough to chat her up. Then becomes brave enough after 6 pints of Stella.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Named Miss Pepper because the song needed a title on his computer, so he arbitrarily called it Pepper. So it was for 2 years until he decided to put it on Under the Radar too, so he called it Ms. Pepper, to make you assume it was about someone in particular.
He said, there isn't a someone, hopefully just a good big tune. I know this is a big favourite of you all. Maybe I should have put it on the Heavy Entertainment show, but maybe I didn't respond to it as much as other tracks, because Ms. Pepper doesn't really exist. I just fancy someone madly in this song and want them to fancy me and then have sex with me.
There's a lyric video which was created by fan Orly Brody, who has luckily had the opportunity to create a few lyric videos for Robbie.
So, Georgie, do you like Ms. Pepper?
I really love the chorus to this song.
Yeah.
I really, really do. I don't know what it is about this chorus. It just feels so, like, it just feels like one of those songs when you're in a crowd and, like, you're just like, like, you know, feel in the moment, like, iPhone, torch in the air, do it. Like, you know, I feel, I'm a sucker for this chorus. Verses, I don't mind. It does feel very, it's Tim and Flynn, very Tim and Flynn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I really think maybe it could have been on Heavy Entertainment show. I would actually have, I think one of my least favourite Rob songs, and this is just down to personal taste in the way that I like his music. I can't, Sensitive, it doesn't,
I think that's what we said in our episode with Bobby.
Oh, man.
But that, you haven't heard that yet, but that's exactly what we said.
It's just, that song, it's a skipper every time. So I would have absolutely 100% whacked this one on.
Yeah.
Taken Sensitive out. And I also really love the cheeky little key change at the end as well. Love me. With that, and also the lyric change as well. It just feels, it feels like those are really good choices. Those are really good, like the changing up the lyrics, making that nice little key change in the last choruses. I really like that choice. We always love a nice key change at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Just to really,
definitely.
yes. Really heighten the mood. It's really lovely. And I didn't know. Yeah, I always wondered why it was called Miss Pepper. I'm like, what is this?
Random.
What's this got to do with anything? Like, but it's good to know that. It's good to know that he's just like, I don't know what to call it. I'll just, call it Pepper on my laptop.
Probably saw a pepper pot in front of him or something.
Yeah.
Just put
totally
peppers.
random.
Yeah, and just went, that'll do. So it's really, really, really love that chorus. Really do.
Yeah, that's what I like. I love the chorus and the pre-chorus as well. It's got a great melody. I also like the middle eight when he sings it gentler. You know, why do you have to leave me now?
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, and then it breaks into the bold chorus again.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. Because I know that when we get together, there's never been a better time. And the amazing brass by the Atlantic Horns.
Yes.
That sounds it lifts the song beautifully, I think.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It's gorgeous. I totally, Yeah, that's gorgeous.
It's got a bit of a sad opening. I like it, by the way, but it's got a bit of a sad opening, isn't it? You know, it sort of feels a little bit sad with the steel guitar and all that's going on. It's not one of my all-time faves, but I do like it, and I love you've already said about the lyrics, but you know, do it, you crazy angel, so in tune with magic, don't be a stranger, because I know that you know when we get together, there's never been a better time than now.
Ugh.
Brilliant.
Stunning.
Poetic lyrics.
Genius.
And the video, I had a look at the video.
Yeah.
Various pictures of a woman in different poses and facial expressions.
Right.
Sort of slightly animated, slightly cartoon-esque style, from what I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good song. I like it.
Yeah.
But quite often when it's playing, I think, I don't know why, but I forget that it's called Miss Pepper. And I kind of think,
I.
There's no reason why you would know, would you?
Because it doesn't fit with the song, and you're thinking, what's this one called again? Oh yeah, it's
It's a bit like you know the Who's Barbara O'Reilly. It's like why, or it's like how did we get there? How did we get that? How did we get Miss Pepper out of this? No reason, no logic.
So if it ever comes up on Hurdle, we won't know what it's called.
Yeah.
Even though Lucy wrote the Hurdle, but you know, we'll.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to Robbie Williams Rewind with the Champions.
So as you'll have heard in this episode, we are talking about some of the lyric videos from Orly Broider. And we were very lucky, weren't we, Lucy, to get in contact with Orly and record a short interview with her about how she came to be involved with making those for Rob and a bit of the backstory.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think you're going to like this.
Very. So here's a few minutes with Orly, and thank you, Orly, for joining us on the show.
Thank you, Orly. So we've got a very special guest with us here now. We've got Orly Broider herself, who has made lots of lyric videos for Robbie.
Hi, Orly.
Yay, hi.
Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
It's really nice to meet
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's really nice to meet you and to be included in this historical recording.
Aw.
Of course.
So just remind everyone, you have made quite a few lyric videos for Robbie. Do you want to just tell everyone which ones you've done?
Yeah. It started with Hotel Crazy, and then I got the official work, Eyes on the Highway, and then Miss Pepper, and then Undestructible.
Wow.
Aw. So did you just make Hotel Crazy yourself and send it to them?
Yeah, it's like I heard the song, and it was quite unusual on this album. And when I heard it, I just saw a movie in my head, and I thought I need to do something with it. And I'm just a graphic designer, so I taught myself how to make this idea in my head reality. So I taught myself some softwares and made a video, and then I put it on Vimeo.
Yeah.
And send the link on social medias, and the reactions was amazing. And I decided to send it to Guy Chambers.
Oh.
I looked for his site and in the internet.
Yeah.
And I sent it to him, and his secretary called me
Oh.
and told me it is amazing, and she will make sure he will listen to it and will react to me. So he really did email back.
Wow.
And then I thought, okay, I have something.
Yeah.
And then the social medias went really viral. And suddenly, a day after my birthday, I got a Twitter, and I'm not really active in Twitter, but it was from a special someone with the blue tick.
Wow, from Robbie himself.
And I couldn't breathe. I saw it. It was what? And it said, "Hi Oli, I really loved your work on Hotel Crazy, and if you want to work with me, there's a job for you. Please email this and this." And
wow,
cool.
Yeah, cool. I bet you couldn't believe it.
I still can't believe it. It's like it blew my mind.
Yeah.
Did you have to read it several times just to? Am I really reading this?
Oh, I mean, are you kidding? Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Wow. And you say you're a graphic designer by trade? That's your job, is it? Graphic design?
Yeah, I'm a graphic designer.
Yeah. What kind of? Do you mind me asking? What kind of work do you normally work on? What sort of things do you do?
I'm doing mostly branding, and I'm an artist too.
Oh, right.
And working a lot with Photoshop and doing digital and visual arts.
Cool.
Yeah.
Robbie actually follows you on Instagram now as well. How did that happen?
Oh, that happened before it. It was. I'm still I don't believe it. It's like I don't believe how it happened. But like I said, I'm working with Photoshop and I'm doing a lot of art. And when he did this thing with the bite what?
Bike twat, yeah.
Yeah. I sometimes have ideas that just really visual in my mind. And I saw this thing with the bite what, and I saw like a film noir comics. I saw him as Batman, and I had to make it happen. So I did. And the chat was on, and everybody reacted really amazing. And suddenly I hear from Robbie. And he retweeted it. And not retweet, how do you do it in Instagram?
He reposted it?
Reposted it, okay. Yeah. And and suddenly someone said, he's following you now.
What, had you not noticed?
I haven't. And still, until today, I'm going to my followers. It's like a thing. I'm going back to my followers, checking. Oh, he's still there.
I don't blame you.
I'm not really active on Instagram. And you can't blame me because now I know someone is watching. So I need to think about everything I'm posting.
Right.
I'm not really thinking is really giving this much attention, but it's in my mind.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So I wondered when they've actually asked you to work on things like Eyes on the Highway, do they tell you sort of what they want, or do you come up with the idea yourself?
He actually didn't give me much details. He only said it's the first song they are letting out from the Under the Radar 2. And he didn't even tell me that it's about the second movie of
Grease.
Grease, yeah. Like the scene after they go with their car. He didn't give me these details, and I just followed with what my intuition. And I was working with someone named Benjamin. He was very lovely, and he just gave me a free hand on doing whatever. And he said it's probably one of our best lyric videos ever. And he gave me a lot of confidence because I didn't have. It's not something that I did before. So
yeah.
So I didn't have any confidence. So he was really great. And Eyes on the Highway came out, and I couldn't believe it. My logo is in the end, and I'm just, oh my God.
That's amazing. It's a really good video.
Thank you.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I can just picture it now in my head.
Yeah.
I just want to add a really quick thank you. And it's the most important because none of this would have happened if I didn't have him. So when I first got the commissioned lyric video Eyes on the Highway, I was working with my brother.
Yeah.
We worked on it together because I was really, really nervous, and thank God he was there. He's really talented. He's also a graphic designer, and I love him so much. So nothing would happen after that if I didn't have him working with me. He did a lot on this video, so it's really important to thank him and give him his deserved credit. And on the other videos that I worked, I always had him to give his what he thinks about it and help me with tips. And I couldn't do it without him, so it's really important. His name is Ofer Boide. So thank you, Ofer.
Have you got a favourite one that you've worked on for Robbie out of the ones you've done?
Probably my favorite one is Hotel Crazy, the first one, because I worked the most on, and it wasn't a job; it was just something that I do. And the next one is Miss Pepper, and then Eyes on the Highway, and then Indestructible.
Yeah. So you must have heard those songs before everyone else, so that you could make the video. That must have been exciting.
Really exciting. Actually, in the second one, I was brought with several choices. So I needed to choose. And I'm so happy. This is why I love Miss Pepper so much, because I chose it and it became one of my favorite songs.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a beautiful
that's special.
song. Yeah. Amazing.
Cool. Yeah.
And one thing I didn't ask is just tell us how you actually became a Robbie fan.
It's ancient history. I can't remember when. It's like I always loved him. I don't remember. It's like he's always been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. And you've seen him live quite a few times, haven't you?
I've seen him, and I actually went to Vegas.
Oh.
And I was very lucky to go and see him there. And it was before they released Indestructible. So when I met him, first of all, he knew my name. And I wanted to I prepared like a scenario in my head, what I'm going to say. And then he said, Oli, and I don't know. I lost my words.
Yeah.
So, but I managed to ask him about the video that wasn't released yet, Indestructible, and he said he really loved him, and I'm his favorite designer. And I'm really honored that I had this chance. It's not something that I can't believe that happened.
Yeah. Oh, so you got a photo with him as well?
Of course.
Excellent. Great.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably even more special that you got to bring to life some of the under the radar tracks as well, because obviously they're so special to us hardcore fans and so special to him as well. I can imagine that just made it all the more special.
Yeah. Yeah. It felt really personal. Like it's not like a big, really personal it's like love songs from him to the fans.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And will you be going on tour to see Robbie soon?
Hope so, yeah. He might even come to Israel. There are some talking about it. And we are very excited. He has actually a lot of fans in Israel. And when I did the first videos, there was a lot of articles, and They asked me on the morning shows.
Wow.
On TV to talk about it. How did it happen that a fan made a video to the huge Robbie Williams? So it was really nice.
Oh, what a journey you've had. It's amazing.
Amazing journey.
Wow.
And last year, I know it's not really connected, but it's somehow connected. Last birthday, my brother bought me this necklace, and it says in Hebrew, "Hakol efshari." It means everything is possible.
Oh.
So this is, I think, kind of a message that if you believe in something, everything is possible.
Wow, I like that.
That's very profound. Very.
Yes.
Yes.
It's kind of almost how we ended up doing the podcast as well, actually.
Absolutely. If you don't take that leap, you'll never know, will you? You gotta, like you say about creative confidence, and I'm sure you find this as a designer, but you have to sometimes step outside your comfort zone and go into the unknown and do things. And you hear Rob talking about that quite a lot as well with his creativity. And we've talked a lot about it on the podcast, how he's had many different projects and he's done many different things. And what was the saying we were talking about the other day about being brave?
If you can't be confident, be brave.
That's it. If you can't be confident, be brave is one of his sayings. And I think that's so true as well, isn't it? You know, because you can't always feel 100% confident, but you can be brave.
Yeah. Take the leap.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, it's been amazing to talk to you, Wally. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
And we'll make sure that we add your links to the episode webpage where we're going to publish this so that people can go and take a look at more of your work.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Wally.
You're so lovely.
Oh, thank you. We'll see you in the world at some point somewhere, I'm sure.
On tour somewhere.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Okay.
I love the way you sound. You sound really radiophonic. You sound really professional, and I really love to listen to your podcast. Your podcast. Yeah, it's amazing what you do. So yeah,
that is a lovely compliment and feedback, and we take it wholeheartedly. Thank you.
Thanks. Take care.
Okay. Thanks.
Take care. Bye bye.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to Robbie Williams Rewind with the Champions.
So, should we talk about Bambi?
Yes.
Yeah, another great title for a song, Bambi. Written by Rob, Tim and Piers. It was produced by Tim and Piers. Rob said he channeled Shaun Ryder / Black Grape / Happy Mondays for this tune. He said Bambi is Shaun Ryder on chamomile tea. It's about wanting to get up to mischief on a train from Stoke-on-Trent, drinking Red Stripe and being naughty. It captures the spirit of 94 and 95, about going to the big city to find my tribe and get lost together.
It definitely does sound Happy Mondays-esque, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does?
Yes.
What do you think about it then, Lise?
Well, my favourite bit is we're so pragmatic, it's like fucking magic. I'm so dramatic, but so are you. I like how he emphasises the fucking on it.
That's our Rob.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Take Me to the Water, I'm walking like Bambi. Just, like the melody of that.
Yeah.
It was a long, long time ago, and how we did it, I'll never know. So come outside and get involved. There's not a problem solved. Is he reflecting on how he couldn't be wasted all the time now? That all happened ages ago, and now it's not a problem. The problem is solved.
Could be, yeah.
Could be.
Yeah. It's a real good dancey song, and I like the ooh backing vocals, which were also done by Robbie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember how they go now, but that's
ooh, it's like a train.
Oh yeah, that's it.
It's like a little train.
Matt, do you like it?
Yeah, it's got a really funky start. I love that, and there's like a funky vibe going all the way through it. And yeah, I mean, it's basically about getting wasted at a train station, isn't it? And I love the same lyrics that you do, that we're so pragmatic. It's like fucking magic. I'm so dramatic, but so are you. That's just brilliant.
Yeah, it's the way he says it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like fucking magic.
Yeah.
Georgie?
I think this might be one of my favourites on the album.
Okay.
Yeah, one of my favourites. Yeah, I think it might be. It's definitely up there. Like, there's so much awesome stuff going on in this. Like you said, Matt, like the guitar, like at the beginning, that dun 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 dun. It's just a really cool riff. You can't help but kind of laugh at the train-like backing vocals. I do love them, but I'm just like, that's a train. That's a straight-up train he's going for here.
It matches the train station theme.
Yeah.
I've only just realised that.
Oh my God, it totally does. Boom,
You've just connected that for us. Thank you.
Yeah. The take me to the what, that part is so cool. It just strips it right back.
Yeah.
Which I really enjoy. The lyrics, the melody is awesome. The harmonies as well, I really, really like. Take me to the one, looking at baby. It also gives, like, I feel like this album as well, really, like, I was there for the 90s, but I was, like, not at the age where you could have really experienced the 90s. Obviously, a bit of a, like, toddler. So you just hit, like, it just gives a really kind of interesting insight as to what it was like back then, Stoke-on-Trent, 90s. And I think the connection, we were so wasted. I'm walking like Bambi. Woo! Like, I'm just like, that's very clever. It's very clever. It's, we very much emphasized how clever it is. All of it is. And at the end as well, that bringing it back as well, I really enjoy. I really love this track. I really do. I think there's a lot of awesome stuff in there. Great lyrics, great backing, great riffs, great melodies. I think this is a great song. It's an awesome song. It's awesome.
Am I right in saying that he actually rhymes Gandhi with Bambi at some point? Sure,
Yep.
Gandhi's in the song.
Yep. Where is it? Hang on.
We're talking like Gandhi or something?
Talking like
Take me to
Gandhi,
the one.
possibly, yeah.
You're talking like Andy.
Andy?
No.
Is that
No,
no?
it's gotta be
Surely.
Gandhi.
No,
I'm
that
sure
can't
he
be.
sings Gandhi.
Who stuffed this up? Hang on.
The lyric sites aren't always right, we've noticed.
No, let's go to Spotify. They might help us.
I think Genius
Lucy
is the best
disagrees
one.
with me when I use Spotify sometimes, but
That's
Let's
the
have a
computer.
it was Gandhi.
It says you're talking like Andy. I'm there too. Surely, no. I think you're right. I think it is Gandhi.
No, it wouldn't be Andy. Andy doesn't
As if
talk
he-
like that.
yeah.
Who's
it's like
Andy? Is it Is he referencing Andy Warhol? Because he obviously has the track about it later. Oh, then another site says Gandhi as well. Who's saying it's Andy? Who's Andy?
It's not
I
Andy.
think it's Gandhi.
Gandhi.
I think it's
It's
Gandhi.
definitely Gandhi.
Talking like
You're-
Gandhi.
Yeah, look, I think it's Gandhi. We'll need to.
We'll need
Maybe
to.
that's one of the things we need to ask Rob. Is it Andy or is it Gandhi? Please explain.
It definitely says Gandhi on genius.com, and
Oh,
that is
there
the
you
one that I believe the most.
Oh, it just makes more sense logically, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
that's fun.
Cool. So shall we talk about Eyes on the Highway?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great song.
So written by Rob, Tim and Piers, and it was produced by Tim and Piers. If you pre-ordered the album, Eyes on the Highway was sent immediately to your email box on the 1st of August 2017 when it was announced. Rob's favourite film is Grease. I think we've heard that a few times.
Yeah.
He said he always felt sad at the end, wondering what would happen after Sandy and Danny flew off in the car into the sky. This is what he envisages happened. Not what took place in the sequel, Grease 2, but the real next day for Sandy and Danny in their beautiful American car.
Georgie?
A really gorgeous song. Really gorgeous. Yeah. And like when Rob, I think, did he say it was like about Greece under the radar gig, or was it a bit before? I can't remember.
He said it in the track by track, and I think he said it at the gig as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, oh my God, of course it is. Because it does mention, I want to be John Travolta, do you, Olivia Newton-John? And I'm just like, oh yeah, that's a nice little lyric thing there. But then you kind of connect all the pieces together and you're like, oh my God, it is about Greece. What? But I think it's a really beautiful and sweet song. Just that, like the build of just keep your eyes on the highway, and then those drums into the chorus, I really love.
Oh yeah.
It feels so powerful, and I guess this song is very kind of poignant at the moment. Well, in the last few months, especially because of the death of Olivia Newton-John. Which was just, it was just, I guess, with, she's just she's
an icon.
Yeah.
And so adored. Like, she's so adored, especially, I mean, all over the world, but, obviously.
Must be especially in Australia.
Oh, God, yeah. Like, the work that, I mean, everybody just adored her, but also the work that she did for breast cancer awareness. Like, there's the Olivia Newton-John Breast Cancer Centre here in Melbourne. Like, just the work that she did. Like, I don't think anybody ever has. Like, it's like Olivia Newton-John, Kylie, I don't think anybody's ever said anything bad about those two that have encountered them. They're just, like, Olivia was just gorgeous. Like, she's such an icon, and you can, obviously you can see how much of an impact that has had on Rob's life, obviously, because he says his stage persona is a mix of Dr. Frankenfurter from the Rocky Horror Picture Show and Danny from Greece, and you put those two together and you're like, Robbie Williams. And it is. It's totally Robbie Williams. You've got the cheekiness of Dr. Frankenfurter and, the suave energy of Danny. But yeah, I think it's like the lyric here, you're a soul survivor because your soul survived. Like, I'm just like, oh, dude, the wordplay. It's just, again, beautiful lyrics, just gorgeous. And it obviously you can tell. I think you can sense how much that means to Rob in this song. Absolutely. You can hear it. You can hear it.
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah. My favourite line is, you would die for each other and you probably will.
Yeah.
That's so, it's like movie-esque as well, the
Really?
drama of the characters in the film.
Yeah.
No doubt. That would probably end up happening.
Yeah.
I wrote that one down as well.
Oh, did you? Sorry.
That's all right. We've both great minds.
I think this one's stunning, and I think it's big enough that it could have been on a main album.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
I think it's beautiful. I love how it starts really gently. Rob comes in on the vocals, and you don't get any drums until 1 minute 15 on the second chorus.
Ah.
Just crazy, that, isn't it? And then you think the song's ending, and then the drums kick in, and then there's another chorus as well. It's great production.
Yeah.
And I love his vocal. You have to sing along to this song.
Absolutely.
And Rob did say, didn't he, that this song stood out for him at the Under the Radar gig.
Yeah, he did.
It went down really well.
It's beautiful.
Also, I made a note that Grease is now the 7th highest grossing live action musical worldwide.
Is it really?
Yeah. So shall we totally change the mood?
Yeah.
And start talking about speaking tongues? I mean, that's the good thing about Under the Radars, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of his albums, to be honest, but it's never all the same, is it?
A lot of variety.
So this was written by Rob, Johnny McDade, and Show and Prove. That's right.
Right.
Produced by Show and Prove and Johnny. Johnny is from Snow Patrol.
Yes.
Show and Prove is a Scottish music producer and DJ, real name Ellis Taylor. He's worked with Riddle Kicks, Tinchy Strider and Benny Banks, with whom he created the single Bada Bing, which featured on the Fast and Furious 6 soundtrack.
Chris Heath detailed the background to this song in Reveal. Rob went to Ibiza with some ravers he knew from Warrington, while still in Take That. Rob said, I did meet some lads called the Diamond Dogs that were sort of travellers from festival to festival. They were making their way to Rio to go to the carnivals, and I think they did that by dealing. Then there was this girl that followed me through the streets and she wanted sex. I think she was from Preston. And we went back to her hotel, but the hotel owner wouldn't let me upstairs. It was sort of panto. I was please, and then I got on my knee and went please, and he punched me in the face. Then I was out on some rocks, jumping into the sea, and somebody came up and said, look, there's a gang of lads collecting together in San Antonio that are coming up to kick your face in. So I whistled down a taxi to save us all the grief. I was thinking how much people have wanted to beat me up throughout the years. When I recount stories, it's always, people wanted to beat me up. I was saying to Stuart Price, I think it must be like conkers. If mine is a 6 and you beat it, yours is instantly a 7. And I was a high-numbered conker. But I don't think Gary Barlow went to a lot of places where he was in danger. And I don't think any other members of Take That Faces begged to be punched. Howard doesn't have the same sort of stories, and neither does Jay. But wherever I went, people wanted to beat me up.
Oh, no.
Oh,
poor Rob.
Oh, no.
He
10 points if you
continued.
get him right in the nose.
He continued, I was in a swimming pool and I'd been up for a couple of days, and a guy came over and put his hand on my shoulder and said, Jesus has sent me to speak to you. And I had a breakdown in the pool. I thought God had sent him to speak to me. He took me back to his apartment and then started reading some Bible stuff and started speaking in tongues. He was a reformed gangster that had done bad and found God. He said, you've been on the devil's dandruff, haven't you? I went, yeah. I spent a bit more time with him and then I left. And that night I said I wouldn't do any coke, but I drank a Poco Loco, which were £25 a glass in '93, full of mescaline and ecstasy and acid.
Oh, God.
Then I left Ibiza and I had to catch a connecting flight to Barcelona, and then Barcelona to Manchester to Gary Barlow's house to start singing some backing vocals for nobody else. I knocked on the door and he answered, and I said that I'd found God, and I collapsed. I went to bed in Gary's bed and slept for 2 days. Oh my God.
No.
Yeah. He did say that showed the strength of character of Gary to actually allow him to just sleep in his bed for 2 days.
Oh, my Lord. That's
It was actually Gary's bed as well, wasn't it? It wasn't just a bed in Gary's house, it was actually Gary's bed.
Actually Gary's bed, yeah.
God bless Gary Barlow. Oh, my God.
Only Robbie.
That is a lot of things to happen in a short space amount of time.
I mean, really, when you listen to this song, you think, a lot of it's got to be made up. But
You'd think. You'd think.
You would think.
I don't know.
But clearly not.
I think
feel like
he hung around with some very strange characters when he was in Ibiza.
And I also think it's just like, if anybody else was singing it, then maybe it could be made up. But then you put Robbie Williams to that name and you go, yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's just a lot to happen in a short amount of time.
It is.
Oh, Robert. Oh, dear.
Yeah, I think he said he was only there for a few days, 2 or 3 days or something.
Yeah.
That is oh, my God. Oh, wow. Okay. Goodness me.
I love this song, though. I
great.
love his story songs. He always does them so well. I like that everybody's saying, take that, and I'm the cheeky fucker at the back. Brilliant. Such a good play on words, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Take that.
Stolen my lyrics again.
Oh, well, sorry.
They're obviously good.
And it's interesting it's written with Johnny McDade, because you just couldn't hear Snow Patrol doing anything like this, could you?
Absolutely.
No, that is quite
none.
funny, actually.
Yeah.
No. And I love how the music actually matches the craziness of the lyrics. You know,
It's chaotic.
Yeah, it's just perfect. And I found, because I listened to it a few times in a row, that after a bit, the word tongues started to just sound like this really weird word.
It's one of those words, if you say it a lot.
You keep saying it.
If you keep saying it, tongues, 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 you're like, is that real? Is that a word?
Yeah.
It's one of those words. Oh, man. Maybe that's what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
Maybe he was trying to get you to a point where it's just like nothing makes sense anymore.
Well, do you want a Matt factoid on that?
Okay, yeah.
Right, because I got one.
Go
I don't
on.
have them very often these days. But speaking in tongues, also referred to as the gift of tongues or glossolalia, never heard of that, is a phenomenon that occurs when a person experiencing religious ecstasy or trance, so there you go, maybe he had you in a trance, utters incomprehensible sounds that they believe are a language spoken through them by God or deity. And that's from dictionary.com, so it must be true.
Yeah.
That's
There
not.
you go. So maybe it was
not-
putting Lucy into a trance.
Yeah,
That's
maybe
not-
the song
Tongue,
did.
tongue.
That's not. I just want to, that's not a word from God. That's kind of mental illness, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that not mental illness? Oh, man. That's, yeah.
This song's always fascinated me. That's all I can really say about it. It just fascinates me because I guess a bit like you, I'm not utterly sure that's all true, but then a little voice tells me it probably is. And it's just a really thought-provoking story and totally crazy at the same time.
Yeah.
And I love the same lyrics as you. You know, everybody's saying, take that. Oh, no, actually, I wrote the first two down. Everybody's saying, take that. And I'm about to do exactly that. And then I'm the chicky fucker at the back before a disco biscuit, disco snap.
Disco nap.
Disco nap.
That's.
Yeah. What is a disco nap?
Oh,
Anyone
God. Your guess is.
Don't know what's a disco biscuit.
Well, yeah.
Wow.
Well, a disco biscuit is probably drugs, isn't it?
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe a disco nap is like a come down or something.
Possibly.
Possibly.
I don't know.
That's probably the most logical. Maybe. Oh, who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
speaking tongues.
Yes.
Maybe.
Do you like
Georgie?
this one?
You like it?
It's so much fun. It's just it is just chaotic. And I love a bit of chaos every now and then. And I think having, it gives a really kind of good insight as to what it was like for Rob at the height of Take That and the height of his, you just kind of hear these stories and you're just like, how are you still, it's just, oh my God, the
Alive.
amount of drugs that man did. And just literally it's Ibiza, dealing, you kind of have to sit there and go, how are you alive?
Yes.
It's just, absolutely credit to him that he is still alive and he got out of this. But holy guacamole, it is quite the story of
Yes.
a few days in Ibiza. It's chaos and it's good fun. Good fun.
Yeah, it is.
Good fun.
Okay, let's talk about Go Mental next.
Yeah, let's stay on the same theme.
Yeah.
Written during the recording sessions for the Heavy Entertainment show, Go Mental was co-written by Robbie with Stuart Price, Atlantic Horns and Big Nasty. The track uses original demo recording, which includes grime artist Big Nasty rapping alongside Rob's vocals. It was produced by Stuart Price and is based on an original track written and produced by Felix Buxton of Basement Jaxx with Atlantic Horns. The Atlantic Horns are Rob's brass section, who accompany him on tour and provide music for many recording sessions. They comprise of Mark Brown on sax, Ben Edwards on trumpet, Mike Kersey on trombone. They've also worked with Amy Winehouse, Madness, John Newman, Basement Jaxx, and tons more.
Rob said, "The lyrics are about everything and nothing. I didn't connect to it fully, which is why it didn't make the main album. I wanted to meet Big Nasty and work with him. I just called him. Rob had the idea to ask Shirley Bassey to sing the chorus. Then Big did an interview with The Sun in which he told them he'd recorded a song with Robbie and Shirley, but Rob hadn't actually asked Shirley yet at that time. So her lawyers were not very happy. In the end, he kept the original vocalist, Andrea Grant. And thank God for that, in my opinion. I'm sorry.
Let us into the secret about Shirley Bassey, Lucy.
She's just one of those people that I have to turn off when she comes on the telly. I can't. I'm sorry.
She's a violent reaction to it, Georgie. I mean, it's quite something to see, to be honest.
Does she throw things at the telly?
She just
not that bad.
It has to be, if it's not immediately turned off, it could get violent. Yeah.
No, it's just that it just harks back to one Royal Variety performance where she was on, and she the whole everyone who'd been on the show did their bows at the end, and so everyone was on the stage, and she was one of the people on the stage, and she took a few steps forward took a bow as if everyone was there for her and she was the main. No. And that to me, that from that moment, I just thought, oh my God, everyone's not there. It's not all about you. And I'm sorry, it just wound me up, and now I can't bear her. So there you go. That's why. So that's why I'm glad that Shirley Bassey is not on the song.
You have to wonder, are you just that stupid? Like, was that a purposeful, like, your ego is just so massive, or are you just that dumb?
Yeah, it was. I just thought, oh my God, wow. Anyway, let's move away from
but what about the song though?
I love the song. I absolutely love it. And I think that Andrea Grant does a great vocal herself, and as Shirley Bassey is not required. And I love the brass instruments on it. Like, obviously they're going to be great on this song, seeing as the horns wrote it. That's just brilliant. It just makes the whole track. It's got an incredible sound.
Oh yeah.
And I would love to see him sing this at an Under the Radar gig.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, with the horns, like get the horns up the front,
That would be fun.
Cool.
But with Big Nasty on stage as well.
Oh yeah, let's get Big Nasty.
Get the whole crew. Get the whole crew.
Big Nasty's quite a controversial character as well. I don't know whether you see much of him in Oz, but
not really.
He's quite outspoken, shall we say?
Yeah, he goes on like chat shows, like game shows.
Yeah, he tends to get on a lot of light entertainment sort of shows though, because he's a bit different and.
He looks familiar.
Yeah, he can be really nice one minute having a chat with someone, and then he's like totally slagging someone off or saying something utterly controversial the next minute.
Yeah,
so I think it's dangerous when he goes on TV.
Yeah,
but
his parents. Jesus, he's done it again.
My favourite line is, "They've been pulling me, squeezing me, feeling me, and I love it." Because, now I wonder whether anyone else would have thought of this. It just instantly reminds me of Take That's Shore video, when they have the bits at the beginning when Take That are sort of in a flat and they're getting ready to have a party. And then Robbie appears, the lift opens, and he walks through carrying the shopping, and he says, I'm home. I've been to the supermarket. They've been pushing me, shoving me all over the place. I'm going again tomorrow.
Whoa,
well
deep
done.
research.
Well, it just didn't, because that I used to love watching that. He had his skinhead, and it was just so funny. And,
it does sound very similar,
and it is. It's like basically the same sort of line.
I reckon, I reckon that's a reference.
I think that's where he got it from.
It actually occurred to me, of course.
Of course, it wouldn't occur to you. You probably have never even seen that video.
Oh, you probably have shown me, but I don't recollect it.
No,
I don't remember a video about a supermarket.
It's just the bit before the actual song starts.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah. Georgie, do you like Go Mental?
I do. There's a lot going on. Going on. I didn't think that we could get a song with like these really cool horns. You'd get Big Nasty, and you'd get a whole impression over here, and then Robbie Williams in the mix of that. Like, there's a lot going on in this song.
Yeah.
Which I feel can be a little bit overwhelming at times still like a tune and a half. Like the horns are awesome. Like I love the horn section in this. But like, yeah, it's just like there's a lot going on. It's just, it's a bit overwhelming at times. It's just like, yeah, you've got the horns, you've got Rob, you've got the Shirley Bassey impression happening, and then you get Big Nasty coming in. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Where did you come from?
Yeah.
But, you know, I really love the horns in this. Like that. I really love that. It's like the whole horn section I really think is really... And that impression is really good. You'd have no idea. And her vocals are really awesome as well. Like, you're like, oh, how did he get her? Like, that's quite a big one. But it's just like, no. She's just very good. And
yes.
Yeah, she needs more credit and more hype. She's very good.
Yeah. She's sung backing vocals on a few of his tracks, actually, I've noticed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
Matt, do you like Go Mental?
I do. And I think, actually, what Georgie just sparked a thought there. I think this reminds us why the horns are so good and so much part of Rob's act.
Mm-hmm.
You know, since the very early days, but he's always had a brass section in quite a lot of his songs, isn't he, from the early stages. And that's not always common in a lot of pop songs. So he's really kept that going. And I think it's nice that they had the chance to write something and really go for it. And obviously the intro, I mean,
iconic.
It's just brilliant.
Yeah.
So good.
And I think, like you say, there is so much going on. It's so multi-layered. You know, you've got the sort of brass bit going, and then different rhythm sections, and it's just energy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it's Big Nasty that goes bass. Bass.
Yes.
I don't know that I like that bit as well. That's cool. And then the lyric, the world's in my head and it's spinning. The rhythm of life is unkind, but I keep grinning. Go mental. I mean,
sensational.
good, isn't it?
Again, lyrics. That's how he does it.
Yeah. That's just brilliant. I love it. It's a great
fun.
song.
It's a lot of fun.
I wish that he'd maybe write some more stuff with the horns, because they've obviously got some good stuff in their pocket.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Get more horns in your songs.
So we've got a bit more to talk about on Go Mental. It was sent direct to fans on the 29th of September 2017, if you pre-ordered the album. And an animated video was also released on the 29th of September, followed by a proper video featuring Rob and directed by Leo Barron on the 23rd of October.
Yeah.
So what do we think about that little video?
Yeah, it's when Rob's in front of that brick wall in his Daddy Pig T-shirt.
That's right.
Well, he changes into the Daddy Pig T-shirt at some point, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's not wearing it all the time.
Yeah.
And then the horns are on the toilet, I think, on the private jet.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no, that's not
it's
the
not a private jet.
Sorry, that's a different video.
Three cubicles in a row.
That's right.
It's very odd seeing them just playing their instruments on the toilet.
Yeah, it really is. I wonder whose idea that was. Was that Leo's idea?
Yeah, I don't know. Strange.
And
Maybe
then obviously Big Nasty's in front of a different brick wall. They couldn't obviously get them in front of the same brick wall.
Yeah, I didn't get that to begin with, because Rob keeps looking to the right, in a slightly, sorry Rob, in a slightly sort of wooden way, because obviously he's supposed to be looking at Big Nasty, and Big Nasty's not there.
He's not there.
Because when they, but I was like, why does he keep looking to the right? I was like, oh, he's supposed to be stood next to him, but it's not really. It's a brick wall, but a different brick wall. But no, I mean, it works. It works.
It's fun. It's a fun video.
It's just as the same level of chaos as the clip. I mean, as the video.
As the song. That's true.
Yeah.
It is. And Rob gets to bust out a few different dance moves as well, sort of just improv, I think.
Yeah.
Just going for it like he does.
Go mental.
Go mental, yeah, exactly.
Go mental.
Yeah. It's good.
Love it.
Fun.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to Robbie Williams Rewind with the Champions.
Okay, next song is Run It Wild.
So this is written by Rob, Tim, Flynn and Philip Steinker and produced by Tim and Flynn. Philip Steinker is a German songwriter and film composer. Run It Wild was sent to email boxes on the 3rd of November 2017 if you pre-ordered the album. It was one of the songs that inspired and helped to create the Under the Radar series. Rob spray painted Run It Wild in pink and blue as artwork on his old studio home wall. Ida was not best pleased. He said he wanted to get it tattooed across his neck but decided not to in the end.
Rob said, a song that I instantly got very excited about and added it into the set list for the Take the Crown tour, but it didn't make the album and it didn't make the tour. Flynn wanted to release it for his own solo album, so it was removed from the track list for Under the Radar 1, but eventually it was put onto Volume 2. Run It Wild already existed before Rob added a chorus and changed some words. He said, written by Tim and Flynn, my Australian brothers, nephews. I've always loved it. This should have been on a main album. I'm a big fan of it. It's kind of a message to me, an erroneous message to Ted. When we were young and wild, tomorrow didn't exist, but there's a refrain in the chorus that gives it a touch of pain and pathos. I'm losing hope in my heart that the end is better than the start. You're only a child for a while, and you've got style. Go out and run it wild. It's Eddie Cochran, Billy Idol. It's just a great tune.
So, Georgie, what do you think about Run It Wild?
I really love this track. I really do. I think it's another one that I kind of go to on this album. It's just got such that gorgeous message, especially, when you connect the dots and figure he's running it for Teddy, run it wild. It's just really gorgeous. And the lyric that you also mentioned was the one that I was going to mention as well. You'll get lost, you'll get caught. They'll tell you everything's your fault, but you're only a child for a while and you got style. Go out and run it wild. I think it's gorgeous. You can tell it was it's a bit more Take the Crown era. You can you can hear it in the music. I really again, it's got a really beautiful build throughout the music. I really love the drums when you get into the chorus a bit more, the kind of a bit more snary kind of drums when you get to the where you would run it wild. And I really love the run to the ocean, run to the ocean. I like that kind of a bit more of a contrasting verse there, a bit different. I really do love this song. It just feels really kind of uplifting, freeing, liberating in a way. I just think it's really gorgeous.
Yeah, it is. And that, the run to the ocean bit, at the Under the Radar gig, Flynn came out and...
Yes, that's right. He did too. He was on the guitar for that.
Yeah, and I just love that. And so now every time I hear that song, I always just...
You can hear him
doing that bit. I almost feel like it should be him doing that.
Yeah.
They could have had him singing a bit of it on the album.
Yeah, I think so. They're both very talented, those boys.
They often do the backing and vocals and the harmonies and stuff with them, don't they?
Yeah.
But you can't always tell that it's them necessarily.
No.
But yeah, it's a great song, great energy to it. I loved it in the gig. I was going to say the same line as you, Georgie.
Yeah.
You'll get lost, you'll get caught. They'll tell you everything's your fault. That bit, it's brilliant.
I've got that line written down as well.
Woohoo!
So that's obviously a really good line. And then I was reading, in my research for this, I found the Italian Robbie Facebook group. Someone in there apparently pointed out that it sounds a bit like Christopher Otkasek's Real Wild Child from the Pretty Woman soundtrack. They thought it sounded a bit like that song, Real Wild Child.
Not super familiar.
Isn't that, or am I thinking of Billy Idol there?
I was with you until you said that, but
I did play the song that they're talking about, and it does sound a bit like it. Not a lot, but it does. And but they thought maybe that's why it mentions Julia in the lyrics, because maybe it's Julia Roberts that they're talking about. Maybe. So I thought maybe there is something in that. Who knows? Maybe. But yeah, it's a great song. Really like it.
Great song.
Just great energy.
Yeah, I think it's great. Great song. I didn't have much more to say, really. I just wrote down exactly the same lyrics as you did. It's a good one. It's a good, energizing one to listen to. As you said, I remember it from the Under the Radar gig. Got good memories from that. So, yeah. And of course, there was a video as well.
Yes, video, yeah. Filmed by Leo again. Nice. And it's when Robbie's having the tattoo. I think is it the same?
Oh, that's right.
It is. In fact, I had more to say on the video than I did the track. It's, so, yes, it's from The Saint, which was the fictional character Simon Templar, from a series of short novels from Leslie Charteris and also a TV series from the 60s. And the main character was played by Roger Moore. It was a British mystery spy thriller. So, yeah, it's the Saint logo that he's having tattooed.
But I'm guessing it was Leo's idea to film Rob having a tattoo, because obviously Leo likes his tattoos.
Tattoo or two.
Yeah, just a couple. Just a few there.
So,
it's a bit weird, but it's totally different and cheap to make, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was having the tattoo, may as well film it and turn it into a music video. You know? Why not?
Well, he's known for his tattoos. So.
Really is.
It's not really my idea of something nice to look at personally, but like the close-ups of the tattoo actually being done.
Ooh.
Kind of a bit gross for me.
That's fine. Yep.
Right, so the next song is Numb.
So this was written by Rob, Ed Druitt and Steve Robson and produced by Steve Robson. It appeared on the soundtrack for a film called Tucked. I'm glad I said that carefully. Steve Robson was a co-writer on Pretty Woman. He's an English songwriter and record producer who sold in excess of 138 million records. Worked on 12 number one UK-US singles. He's won Brits and Ivor Novellos for his work on Take That Shine and is Grammy nominated. Ed is a British singer and songwriter who's written with Professor Green, Ollie Murs, Craig David, One Direction, Little Mix and The Wanted on songs such as All Time Low, Glad You Came, Dear Darling, Best Song Ever, Black Magic, History, Shout Out to My Ex and loads more.
So basically they're kind of legendary songwriters.
Yeah. That's
Rob
massive.
said, through Ollie Murs, I was introduced to Steve Robson. For me to branch out and go and meet a stranger took me to be a bit brave. I needn't have been that brave because he was lovely and made me feel very comfortable. And Ed Druitt also turned up for the writing session that day. Ed should be a solo star. Numb is from a time in my life, maybe 16, 17 months ago, when I just didn't feel great. The walls had closed in. I felt isolated. I also felt incapable of penetrating those walls because my head's a powerful place and it can talk to me untruths, maybe a chemical balance, maybe whatever it was that I was going through. It's not the first time, won't be the last, but those moments can go on months and months where I just don't feel safe or capable of interacting with the world. A similar sort of space in my head was when I wrote Feel. There were no drugs. There wasn't anything to numb that pain, but I felt numb. I didn't know how to react to people. I didn't know how to leave the house. I felt very scared at the prospect of just being in the world. Obviously, that's not what I planned for myself. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be scared, but I quite often am. It's a shit time, but quite often it spurns a good song. I think Numb's a really good song. For me, it reminds me a little bit of Pulp. That middle eight, big 90s guitar, strings. I hear a sadness and euphoria that Jarvis and his friends can create. I'm not the same sort of lyricist that Jarvis is, but there's something in there that reminds me of Pulp. That was a big quote, sorry.
Was.
Georgie, would you like to go first on Numb?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it definitely has that feel. Well, I mean, not the, completely different vibe from Feel musically altogether. Yeah, it's, also very different lyric vibe wise, but it does really communicate that message. This is a good lyric. Because I've been ticking like a time bomb. I bit my tongue so much, it's all gone. My hands are tied and I've become so numb. Just like, those are some very powerful images.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's really communicated this and articulated it really beautifully. And I think the thing is as well, it's very repetitive. I didn't realize how repetitive it does the chorus like it's a very kind of repetitive kind of tune. God, he's also in very good company in writing that song. That's some serious like songwriters that he's working with.
Yeah, it's good that he's branched out, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Written with some different people.
Yeah, it's a really awesome collaboration here.
Well, I obviously love it because I love Ollie and his music. So
he's a darling.
It's clearly going to be of the same sort of vibe.
Severely biased.
Yeah, I'm very biased.
Yes.
You're allowed.
I like a Mayday from Mother Earth. The situation's so much worse than I thought. I like that. Can you hear the boy stood in the middle of the Milky Way from 10 billion miles away? And I like actually that it's got an instrumental bridge in it. I know I've heard Guy talk about it in a podcast I've listened to of his, that he says there's too many songs these days that are just full of lyrics. People just fill every second with lyrics. Sometimes it's nice to actually have an instrumental bridge and actually just enjoy the music, and I like that on this song. And also his voice reminds me of David Bowie on this.
Did you think that? Good point. Yeah, it has a very, and like I feel like those lyrics as well. Now, like, can you the Milky Way kind of reference as well? I'm just like, that is very Bowie. Now that you mention it.
Yeah,
good pick up.
Has been known to conjure up a bit of Bowie before.
Yeah.
We've spoken about that before, haven't we? I don't think he's ever really said himself, has he? That's a good question for him.
Obviously, that he's aware.
Obviously,
that
an influence. Must be. Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I've just never heard him say anything about him. I mean, he probably has at some point, but
he spoke about him when he died.
Yeah.
I just think this song's a complete package.
Yes.
It's got the sound, the vocal, and the lyrics. Like, you can see what he means about pulp, can't you?
Yeah.
And also at the Under the Radar gig, he said, if there's any song that should have gone on a main album, it's this one.
Another one that should have gone on the main album.
He said it quite.
He said about a few of them.
There's a few of them that should have been chucked on, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Matt, do you like this one?
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful song. I just love the way it starts with, "Hey you, how is your life?" That's just, and his vocal range is just brilliant. There's some, I think Georgie, you mentioned it. Some parts are really low, and then other parts are like right up in the falsetto range.
Yeah.
There's something really cool when he does that. It's just, I don't know, it just sounds really good. It just really works in the song. And I agree with you. Did you? I think you mentioned the Under the Radar gig.
Yeah.
Did you mention it?
Yeah. How he introduced it. It went down really well, didn't
absolutely.
it? Yeah.
And I really like the strings in it towards the end. It's just a lovely arrangement. So, and I wrote down the same lyrics as you did.
Oh.
Can you hear the boys in the middle of the Milky Way from 10 billion miles away?
Homework.
I know. This is not where I belong. Never was. Take me home.
Yeah. It's
gorgeous.
Great.
I'll jump on the part of you mentioning his vocal range as well. I've found that over the years, his lower range has gotten just gorgeous. Like, it's like this beautiful, silky, honey, gorgeous, really lower range that he's got, that I've just sat and I'm just like, wow, that's really beautiful. And the falsetto is still there and still really gorgeous as well, but that lower range in the last the last 10 years or so, I've just found that I'm just like, oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
really just is. Like delicious, really gorgeous. Really?
Yes.
Yes.
His voice is certainly repaired after that time when he tried to completely destroy it. When was that?
When he didn't want to go on stage.
Yeah,
in like
he tried to ruin his voice box, didn't he?
2 or 1 or something.
No vocal warm-ups, anything like that. As a singer, that hurts. He's like, just
he
go on
does now,
stage.
though.
Oh, yeah, I know he does. He said, the first few songs would be my warm-up. And I'm like, oh, no, please don't. Smoking. And I'm just like, oh, please don't do this to yourself. That voice.
Yeah. So let's talk about Andy Warhol next.
Yeah. Well, that'll take some time to talk about him.
Oh, yeah.
Written by Rob, Carl and Benjamin and produced by Ben and Carl, Rob said, spurred by a meal I had with Tom Ford, who was talking about Studio 54, and I just got lost in the story. I got intoxicated with thinking about a young Tom Ford that was yet to become the Tom Ford that we know now. Hanging out with Andy Warhol or David Bowie. Next day, I was in the studio writing it, and it's a composite piece. The verses are what was happening for me at the same time Tom Ford was in New York going to Studio 54. I was in Stoke-on-Trent at primary school, being fearful of my surroundings and the people that I'm with, which is a theme that runs through my life. At that moment, in the late 70s, early 80s, I was in Tunstall and Tom Ford was in Studio 54 with Andy Warhol. I was going to have my own Studio 54 moment, not literally in Studio 54, but I would grow up to be in places like that. But in that moment, the sliding door moment, I wasn't there yet. There we go. Andy Warhol.
Yeah. So I'll have to say one thing. The double negatives annoy me in this song.
Go on then, give us an example.
I didn't learn nothing.
Oh, God, yeah.
Ooh.
And no one had nothing. It's like, I know that Robbie knows that's wrong. He's just doing it for
He's
effect.
been clever, but still.
But it still annoys me.
Just a slight eye twitch every time that lyrics comes up.
Yeah.
This is fine.
Yes.
It's fine. It's for dramatic effect.
I love that I'm a little too much, but then not enough. That's a good line.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always wondered why this song was kind of weird lyrically. Like, it's always just a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's obviously because the verses and the chorus are telling 2 separate stories.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes sense when you know that. But when you don't know that, it's a bit like, this song's a bit mad.
It's a bit chaotic.
Yeah, they just sound different, don't they? The verse and the chorus completely. Especially the pre-chorus. But I guess the sort of craziness suits the subject matter. You know, Studio 54 was nuts, wasn't it?
Apparently.
The boys are with the boys and the girls are naked on the floor.
That
sounds a bit nuts.
That is the definition of nuts.
And I was listening to the This Is Disco podcast, which I like to listen to. Hello to them. And they interviewed Gloria Gaynor on the show because obviously she has sung with Kylie. And Gloria spoke about her memories of Studio 54. And she basically, one story that sticks in my head was she turned up one night with some friends to actually go into the studio instead of singing there as an invited guest. And they were like on the door, like, oh no, Gloria, no, you don't want to come in tonight. No. Come back another time, but no, we don't advise coming tonight. And they basically told her to go away because whatever was happening in the studio that night.
A massive orgy or something.
Yeah, they were like, no,
jumped to my head.
We can't have Gloria coming in and seeing this. No, come back another time.
Another time when there's not a raging orgy going on here.
So anyway, that's a good interview if you want to listen to that. That's on This Is Disco, which is the Kylie and Danny podcast that I listen to. Yeah. And actually, I didn't realise that Bowie and Tom Ford were even really in the lyrics to this. I obviously hadn't paid attention to it enough.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of washed over me.
It's the part like, welcome to our club. The future has arrived. Bowie's at the door. Tom Ford. I'm like, okay. There they are.
Do you like this though?
I do really like this tune. yeah, it's got like a really, like, yeah, it does get like the confusing part where you kind of time travel, not even try, like distance jump from Stoke-on-Trent, and then it's just like, the boys are with the boys and the girls are naked on the floor. And just going like cocaine in the bathroom. Like, and I actually really like how this has been done musically, because it really, really goes with the theme of what it's talking about. Like that vibrant, colourful, really like 80s, like the electronic kind of sound. Like, I think that works really, really well with this. You know, it's like when you kind of are inclined to think about like 80s and Studio 54, Andy Warhol, you're thinking bright colours, psychedelic, everything like that. And I think the music matches that really beautifully.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, could go bananas. I'm off this planet. I really also like the harmonies and the backing vocals in this. I really, really like that.
Yeah.
I really like that. The Welcome to Our Club, the future has arrived. That bit's a bit random, but like, you know, the spoken middle, the bridgy bit.
Yeah.
But it fits with the song and the theme and what they're talking about, what's going on. So it's really cool. It's a really cool song. Really cool idea.
I quite like the contrast between Rob's deep voice talky parts. You know, when I was a young boy, I was that, and then it sort of goes back to the song itself. So that there's a real contrast between the two, isn't there?
Yeah.
And I agree. It feels a little repetitive at times, but weirdly that sort of works with the song. Works. And you mentioned the 80s feel. I mean, I love the sort of synthesizer.
Yeah.
It's so 80s. It just sounds so cool. And I love it when he's singing it really. When I was a young boy, I was frightened of. It's really like, I don't know. There's something nice about that low range again when he's singing that part.
It's so good. His low range needs more hype. Yeah. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then the video is absolutely nuts.
Yeah, that was released on the 22nd of Feb, a week after the album came out, and directed by Leo again. Yeah, with dancers from the tour. Basically drawing lipstick all over his face.
Well, and pulling his ears and squeezing his nose and pulling his forehead up and just sort of just basically the hands all over his face, and it's
kind of weird, isn't it?
Okay, it's different.
That'll work.
Well, and then the blow up doll comes out, the sex doll. Jerry's in it as well. It's
Jerry's in the. This is the one where Jerry's in the toilet in the.
Yeah, he's in the toilet as well.
Private jet, isn't
What is it about the bloody toilet?
Yeah,
I think they've got a little bit of an ongoing joke about filming each other in the toilet or something that we haven't.
I guess it's something to do with the cocaine in the bathroom.
Oh yeah,
in this song.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Chaos. It's marvelous.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to Robbie Williams Rewind with the Champions.
Right. Next song, My Fuck You to You.
I'm sure we're all excited about this one. My Fuck You to You.
It's just great.
This is written by Phil Eisler with a few lyric alterations by Rob. Phil gave an interview to the Geektown podcast in which he said, "We haven't seen each other in person since before we had kids. We talk every now and again. We email each other and stuff. My Fuck You to You is a song I wrote when I was like 25 or maybe even 23, 24. Rob always loved it. I think we recorded a version about 12 years ago. We rewrote some lyrics to suit him more because it was a very personal song to me. And it was a song about bullying, basically. We didn't speak about it much since. I think since then, he'd done one, maybe two of my other songs on albums. Then, just out of the blue, he emailed me and said he really wanted to put this on. He had this album coming out called Under the Radar, which was a bunch of unreleased things and B-sides and all that stuff. And he wanted me to put it on there. And I was like, great. Then, out of nowhere, he'd shot a video for it, which was the highest compliment, really.
Rob said, I love the lyric and sentiment. He's an incredible songwriter, and this is one of them. I'm covering a Phil Eisler song. It resonates with me because it's not wholly who I am, but I have a lot of anger. I have a lot of resentment, and I get caught up in that resentment. And whether it's justified or not, it exists. People say if you're going to seek revenge, then dig 2 graves, one for you and one for the person that you seek the revenge on. So it is with this song. My fuck you to you is one person. Please leave comments to guess who that is. Who do we reckon?
Oh, God, there could be so many people.
I reckon Nigel Martin Smith.
I think yes, but also I feel like there could have been, like, the element of that teacher that he wrote Hello, Sir about. Could be. Nigel, oh God, there's so many people have been.
Yeah, I couldn't possibly guess. I don't know.
I think you could.
I wouldn't like to even say that it might be one of his exes because that wouldn't be very nice, would it? But
I don't think he'd be asking people to guess if it was one of his exes.
That's true. That's true.
No, I think, well, there's always just been that real bitterness towards Nigel.
Yeah.
So it does make sense. But then there's, like, you know, like in my head as well, this does very much have an element of Hello, Sir about it. And it's and like you listen to that and you're just like, geez, this teacher or whoever it is really has hurt him.
Yeah.
And he's really gotten back at really bollock sir, kiss my ass. I'm just like, oh, he's really going for it here.
So what do you think of My Fuck You to You?
It's really gorgeous. Really lyrically beautiful as well. I think I really love the simplicity of this, just with the very simple electric guitar in there. I think that's beautiful, and just really beautiful vocals from Rob. Hang on, spotted a lyric. I was all of 17.
Yeah.
Ooh,
but that is in Phil's original cover, original version. He says 17 as well. But obviously Rob was 17.
Yeah.
They could have changed that number, couldn't they?
They could have.
made
They did say they did a little rewrite, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously he left it at 17 for a reason. So that's why I think it's Nigel.
Yeah, no, I think you've got it. I think you've hit it on the head there. But it's just, it's really gorgeous, and just I think the way he kind of says this is my fuck you to you, it's kind of, it almost seems, it's not like bitter and angry at times. I think it's just tired.
Yeah.
It's just like, just deal with it. It's just been so long, and this is my way of just putting it out there into the world. You know, I'm still angry about it, which is completely understandable. Whoever this, I don't know, we can guess if it is allegedly, Nigel, allegedly we are on a podcast.
Yes.
You know, you hear, like, I heard some stories about, you know, them pumping him, like, you just don't know what happened back in those days. Intake that. I can't imagine it would have been very easy sailing, you know.
No.
A lot of pressure, a lot of vigorous, a massive schedule, you know. So yeah, the simplicity, the way he sings it, I think is really beautiful.
Yeah, it is. I love the, like, contrast between the really beautiful song and then the really harsh lyrics.
Yeah, that is a good contrast.
Yeah. And I also love the drama of the bridge. I used to see you in my dreams, but I could not compete. I just like, you know, that bit of it. It was just like really soaring at that point. And I just love that you can really concentrate on Rob's voice because of the simple arrangement.
Yeah.
Well, I would, you've both mentioned simple. I had a very simple acoustic number, and it accentuates Rob's raw and raspy voice. Obviously, he's really pulling on the emotion during the song. And it sort of tells me that Phil Isler obviously went through some shit, and he had to dig quite deep to write this one as well. So it probably took a lot of guts to sort of write it, even though there's like a pointed comment in it. It's quite difficult to think about, really, because they've obviously been through a lot of shit. And then the lyrics,
like
yeah. And then the lyrics. Then you taught me the value of never losing sleep. You sink like a home, putting children on the street. I mean, that is
that is brutal.
I read that and I was like, yeah, really brutal. I was like, oh, that's not very nice.
But these are Phil's lyrics.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. He went through some shit to come up with this, really. Yeah.
Actually, you can hear Phil's original version on YouTube. It basically sounds exactly the same. When it starts, you think you're listening to the exact same song. It's got the same, just identical. And then obviously the voice is suddenly different. And then there's a few lyric changes. But yeah, it's nice to listen to his one.
It hits you emotionally, doesn't it? Listen to this.
Yeah.
You feel it.
Yeah.
Really feel it. Yeah.
And then obviously they made the video, which Phil mentioned, that once again directed by Leo, released on the 16th of April, 2018. Shot in a fancy hotel room, possibly in Australia or New Zealand. I'm not sure. I'm thinking about the timing of when it was.
The suite that he's in is enormous. It's like 2 levels by the looks of it.
I reckon that would be Crown in Perth. Let's have a look. Let's just have
It's absolutely enormous. I mean, it's just like wandering up and down, and
it's got a pool table in it and stuff.
Yeah, pool table, piano.
They did a tour of the hotel room when he went to Perth, because it is like next level. Crown. Oh yeah, I reckon that's Perth. Yeah, I think that's the Crown in Perth. Yeah, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the city outline looked like Perth.
Yeah,
I think it's a pretty good guess, though. I think it is. What I do quite like is Rob's photo taking skills. Leo's obviously given him a camera, a Polaroid camera, and Rob goes outside onto the balcony and takes a picture of the night scene outside the balcony. Now, it's not going to come out. Sorry, Rob. It's just, if that's a Polaroid, you're just going to get a few little dots of light.
It's not happening.
It looked good on the video, but that photo's not coming out. And then he looks at a load of other photos, which were clearly taken by Leo, of Rob on Polaroids, and he's looking through them. But the night scene isn't there.
No, not happening. You can try, but it's just going to be blackness.
It's a good video, though. I like it.
It's good. Sometimes the simple things are the best things, and I think
simple
it is.
But effective.
Yeah, I know we make fun, but I don't mean it, Leo and Rob. It's quite a nice style because it's in black and white as well, isn't it? So there's something quite cool about it. It's simple. Yeah.
And obviously there was no budget, so
they
had to do it simply.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's all you need.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, just a 20,000 a night, suite. That's all it costs.
It's probably more, let's be real. Oi.
Okay.
Right, let's talk about weakness.
Alrighty.
So, written by Rob and Gary Barlow, produced by Steve Power, Rob said, "My weakness is strong. I got the idea from a comedian's TV special called That. It's a sort of Dick Van Dyke version of my relationship with my wife. My weakness gets stronger every day. My weakness and my love for my wife get stronger, and I'm full speed into letting my weakness overwhelm me because it feels like a beautiful thing." Written with Gary before Take the Crown, we were going to do an album together. Then it was an album for me. It didn't come to pass for a few reasons. It may do in the future. I'd like that. But this is one of the great songs that we wrote together. Yeah.
So this song sort of, I don't know why, but it reminds me a little bit of Gary's song Small Town Girls on Since I Saw You Last, both produced by Steve Power. Because I think it's because it's got a little bit of a country vibe, hasn't it, this song?
It is almost a country song, isn't it?
Yeah, and Gary's song on his album has got that vibe as well. I really like the chorus. And then we hide it, don't dare look inside it. It's fun, jaunty kind of melody. I like the line, I took photographs of Mars, left my footprints on the moon. I wanted the universe, then they sent you. It's a beautiful analogy for how he searched far and wide in the universe. Lots and lots of different women from all different planets.
Everywhere.
Until he found Ida. Essentially, because he's been all around the world. Who knows what's happened?
Let's be real. They probably were. Seemed like they were probably from different planets at other times. Some of these women. Let's be real.
And also, I like the line, went around the world in 80 lovers.
Yes.
That's a good line.
Clever line.
That's clever. Another clever, witty Roberto lyric.
Yeah. Matt, what do you like about Weakness?
Well, you can definitely tell that Gary co-wrote this song, can't you?
Oh, yeah.
It's got Gary all over it, which I think is a good thing. I don't mean that as a bad comment. And then the lyric, you could spend all of your life with that damn box, trying to keep it closed. I think it's about people trying to hide away true feelings or keeping them in a box and not being honest or not, letting them out.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I really like the nice harmonies and that kind of jolly country beat that's going along in the background.
Definitely.
Just works. Yeah.
Yeah, it's jolly. That's a good description.
It is.
Yeah.
Georgie?
It's really gorgeous. I do. You can absolutely tell that Gary has co-written this. And because it very much has a vibe like Shame. It's very, you can definitely hear that influence there. It's, like you said, Matt, jolly is probably a really good word. I really love it. I think it sounds like thirds in the harmonies. Really beautiful, really gorgeous analogies as well. She's my weakness, gets stronger every day. Oh, that's gorgeous. I really, and the drums are kind of subtle. I think it just all goes together really beautifully. It's very much a country pop tune. I actually don't mind when he does has a bit more of country elements in there. I don't mind it at all, to be honest. Hot fudge, I wouldn't say that that's full country. It's got tiny sprinkles of it in there. And I really like it when he kind of goes into that a little bit as well. So I think it's really lovely. I think Gary and Robbie write really gorgeous songs together. I think they're really good songwriting partners.
They do. And we've said before, haven't we, they should do more.
Yeah.
Nice.
But he says he has done more, because in Karaoke he said he'd written some more songs with Gary.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have to need the receipts, Rob. You're going to have to give us the songs. We can't believe you until you give us the songs.
Yes. Oh, dear. One day we'll get another Under the Radar album, I hope.
Well,
I think we will. There's too much.
Yeah.
And just before we recorded this podcast with you last night, we were actually at the Gary's one-man show, a different stage.
Yeah.
Oh.
Where he mentioned Robbie one or two times.
Yeah.
Oh, what kind of things
show.
did he say? That's old Robbie.
Well, we're not allowed to say because you've got to keep quiet about the show, haven't you? So we don't want to do any spoilers.
But
it was his life story, and obviously there was a little bit about when he went a little bit down. Gary went a little bit downhill, and obviously Robbie went uphill, and that was a bit difficult for him.
Yeah.
So
it was definitely worth seeing.
Very, very, very much so. Yeah,
he's a sweet man, Gary Barlow.
Yeah.
Talking like I know him, oh yeah, Gary, just a one delightful man.
Right, let's go on to Booty Call.
Yeah.
Yes, let's.
So this was written by Rob, Danny, Calvin, Rich, and Scott, and produced by Rich.
In the track-by-track commentary, Rob discussed Booty Call and the next song, On the Fence, at the same time, as they're both swing-style songs written with the Stoke brothers. There are some absolute tunes emanating from Burslem, Stoke-on-Trent that are glorious and sound as though they're right from the 50s and 60s, and this is 2 of those tracks. I'm so proud because they share the same love for the same sort of music that I do, and we seem to reproduce it really well. I won't go into what it's about because they're just swing songs. There's no me in it. Well, there is, because I wouldn't mind a booty call, but I can't do that anymore. They're in the style of the people that we greatly admired when we were growing up. Do you want to go first?
I think it's really cool. Swing style, obviously. Great fun lyrics. I love the fact that Calvin, Danny, Rich and Scott were involved. I love the low-key start to this one with the squeaky guitar strings. Like, you can really hear that that rawness and the piano at the beginning. And then love the line, "You're a ray of sunshine on an otherwise boring night. Send me your address over, I'll Uber myself a ride."
Yep. Great
and
one.
Then, just in case anybody doesn't know what a booty call is, dictionary definition,
Matt.
It's a sexual invitation or rendezvous. So there you go. If you didn't know.
That do be a booty call. That do be the booty call.
What do you think?
It's just classic tongue-in-cheek Robbie Williams, isn't it? It's just it's I just find the contrast, like this beautiful like swing band, that beautiful the voice he has when he sings swing, and then it's do they still call it? It's just like a booty call, literally talking about him getting some, and I'm just like, that's Rob. That's really, it's literally absolutely Rob. Like, just I feel like he could be the only one who could pull this off, to be like, let's get a swing band in, let's like get all this stuff, it's gonna make it a bloody extravaganza. Like, we're talking Dean Martin, we're talking Frank Sinatra, and let's just call this song Booty Call. Yes. I just think it's hilarious. I'm just like, I love it. I'm just like, yep, tongue-in-cheek Robbie Williams, and I love it.
And it really does sound like a proper swing track.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know, it does. That's what makes it even funnier.
Yeah. It's just perfect, isn't it? The instrumentation.
Just stunning.
Yeah.
I wrote down, it's a real treat for the ears.
Well said.
And all the little flourishes from like the piano and the trumpets and stuff throughout the track. Yeah, it's just
high
brilliant.
quality production.
Of course. Nothing less from Rich.
Nope.
Is that the right saying? Nothing less, or do you say nothing more?
Potato. Let's be real.
And obviously there's another video for this one.
Yes. A video was created by Leo Barron called The Listening Club, described as a place for the watchers and listeners of the world to get together and enjoy the song. Rob walks in wearing PJs and a dressing gown, sits in a chair with a drink, and listens to the song with us watching.
Oh.
Yeah. The old listening club. Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? He introduces it and says, "Hello, everybody. I'm Robbie Williams from Take That, and stunning solo success, and other things too. Occasional actor, songwriter, and incredible rapper." I love that he says incredible rapper.
You have to.
In fact, he says it twice.
Says it twice, yeah.
You just have to really reinforce that he is a brilliant rapper after all.
Yes, which he is.
He is. He's very good.
Yeah. And at one point he mimes along to the song, but then says, "Oh, I should be listening."
Oh my God.
He can't resist.
He can't help
doing
himself.
his pop star thing. Yeah.
He's pop star just 24/7.
It's a cute video.
Robert.
So then we go on to the next song, On the Fence, which there's not a lot to say about because he kind of covered it in the previous one.
Yeah, so this was written by Rob, Calvin, Rich and Scott and produced by Rich. And we've already covered, as Lucy said, what Rob said about this song previously. So what are our thoughts about the song? Georgie, should we go to you first?
I just really love his voice. doing the swing stuff as well, especially like I've kind of said a bit earlier, like especially in the last kind of 10 years or so, the kind of that lower range has just become so good and so silky and gorgeous. And you could just hear that in this. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Just gorgeous.
And I love the usual tongue-in-cheek style from Calvin, Rich and Scott. That really works. And then it's just a great big band swing track, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of the lines I wrote down was, when I check for the text like a neurotic chancer, the verb is avoid because no is the answer. I was like, what does the verb is avoid mean? But it's very deep. I didn't work it out.
No, I don't
used
think
to
we
be
ever
the
will.
boy. I used to be the boy who played it cool. Then I sat on the fence and all I could think of is you. Yes.
Just so
I like
good.
the beginning. Hey now, what did I do wrong? I'm only 7 words into this song. Because I think that he does say 7, although it does sort of sound like several, and the lyric booklet says several. But when he's in the video,
because he counts 7.
in the video he counts the 7 words on his hand. So yeah,
That
it's
first
7.
line is 7 words. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just funny. It just makes me laugh. That
He's
bit.
like, how do I start this?
Yeah,
Oh, well, let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that'll do.
I know, hilarious, isn't it?
Oh, you got to get it out. You got to figure out the lyrics somewhere. Sometimes you have to reach into your very, very soul. And he's come out with an absolute belter here.
And also the like a knife and a fork and a big bowl of soup.
Oh, yeah, that's an awesome
difficult.
one.
Difficult to eat soup with a knife and fork.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
Quite tricky.
yes. And then my favourite bit is the, ooh, did we enter the friend zone? And oh, is there any way back? You know, it's all like comes to a crescendo at that point.
Yeah.
Exquisite instruments once again on this song.
Yeah, stunning.
I got a point to make on your ooh that you talked about, because what I noticed is when Robbie sings the ooh, I always think it sounds the same as when he's going to launch into the ooh, do they call it a boo?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It does actually, yeah.
It sounds exactly the same. But every time I heard it, it just kept reminding me of the previous song. So I was like,
hadn't noticed that.
and then I was sort of like sat there thinking, stop thinking of Booty Call. Stop it. Come back to this song. Well, I wasn't thinking of a Booty Call, but it was just, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It sounds as though we all quite like that one. Then.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's fun.
We love a swing track.
And then obviously they did another listening club video for this song, but this time with Papa Pete. On the sofa with Robbie.
Bless that man. We love Papa Pete.
Yes. Smiling and enjoying himself, winking to the camera.
You see how they're alike, don't you, when they're sat there,
Oh,
right? 'Cause
yeah.
their facial expressions and the little eye rolls and the winks and the sort of eyebrows going up and down and smirks and
Yeah.
the little tiny occasional sing-along. And then Pete says at the end, if music be the food of love, play on. And I thought, oh, bless him.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Oh, he's such a sweet man, isn't he?
Yeah.
We love Papa Pete. We're just a Papa Pete fan club here as well. Let's be real. We just love him.
The showman in Rob was built into him by his dad.
Absolutely. So much.
Yeah.
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 Bless.
So let's move on to the final track, International Entertainment.
Yeah, written by Rob, Tim and Piers and produced by Tim and Piers. Rob said, the backing track is by Piers. I was looking for a song to open up the live show for Heavy Entertainment show. I was hoping it would be this one. Then me and Guy wrote the Heavy Entertainment show part 2. It's a big bombastic song. Silence in the courtyard. You'll probably notice, the more observant listeners out there, that those are the same words that I open up with on Marry Me. I often move lyrics around until they fit into shape, and this was the start of that lyric fitting into shape. We talked about that, didn't we, with Bobby on her episode.
We did. And a fan we know met Rob once around the time of this album's release, and she told him that she liked this song but the best, and he apparently replied to her that it was an odd one to like. And then he gave her a fist bump and told her that he'd nearly not put it on the album.
Oh, bless.
Yeah. And the lyric video came out on the 20th of March, inspired by the intro to the Vloggies. And it took the digitised Robbie character off the stage and into an 8-bit kaleidoscope of colour, featuring references to some of his favourite games, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah. Don't know who made it. I couldn't find that out.
That's right.
So, do we like international entertainment?
I do.
Yes?
I do. It's got it's got the nostalgic feeling because it's like, oh, the Vloggies. I love the Vloggies. And yeah, I think it, like, you know, to my kind of taste, like, I don't love as, like, I don't mind it. Like, there's some, like, kind of more electro kind of songs, of pop electronic kind of songs that I don't mind of Rob's, but, like, my personal taste goes to more of the pop rock kind of Robbie sound. But I don't mind this. I don't mind this at all. I don't mind the backing. I think it's kind of, it feels weird to say, but like an uplifting electronic kind of track. Yeah, I love also how he jumps Silence in the Court, Silence in the Street, the biggest mouth in England, and then we change to the biggest mouth in the world. And in my head, I'm like, except for America. It's just...
I love it. Absolutely love this song. Massive energy from this song, and just really like it a lot. And I love the line from the start of the Vloggies being in there. It's just an epic track. The music arrangement, I think, is genius. You can just feel it building up, you know, did. And until he says, "I am alive," and then that crazy jungle beat kicks in, and it just goes off.
It does.
And then it kind of calms back down again. So I love that contrast and the juxtaposition of two styles. So powerful.
We love a juxtaposition. We love it.
But that that jungle beat, I just love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's great to dance around to, but I kind of can't really see it as the opener for the Heavy Entertainment tour.
No.
You know? No.
Well, I could see why they thought it would, because of the energy.
Yeah.
Because it's got that massive sort of low and that massive sort of high.
Yeah.
And that's quite good to get the crowd going.
I just don't think it has the Robbie Williams bravado that is needed to open a Robbie Williams show.
I think he likes it. You can sort of tell now with what he's doing with EDM and you know, all the experiments that he's doing around that. You can see that this was sort of one of those early ones where he was like, "Oh yeah, we should do this."
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it probably wouldn't have worked.
No, not quite.
It's obviously about his like surviving his partying days, though, isn't it? This song.
Yeah.
Drinking, fighting, smoking.
I'm still alive.
Yeah.
And I survived and all that.
Yeah, he did. He has, and we're proud of him.
Yes.
Same as Indestructible.
Yeah.
So, just before we wrap up this episode, make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss out. And also, Lucy and I would really appreciate it if you can leave us a star rating. You can do this on both Apple and Spotify podcasts. We would also love it if you could write us a short review, and you can do this on Apple. Don't forget, you can check out our episode notes for each episode and links to all tracks and videos at robbiewilliamsrewind.com. You can also email us at email@robbiewilliamsrewind.com. Please also follow and chat on our social channels. It's at RewindRobbie on Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. And you can also like and follow our Facebook page, Robbie Williams Rewind. And before we return to this episode, you might also consider sending us one of your own Robbie stories for the show. Just record a short audio clip on your phone and email it to us. Please check the website for more details. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to Robbie Williams Rewind with the Champions.
So we have reached the end of the show.
Yeah.
Under the radar.
And so now it's time for each of us to pick our favourite tracks from this episode. And I think there were quite a lot on this album.
Oh, yeah.
Were there a lot?
Yeah.
We've gone through a lot of songs.
There's a lot of songs on this album.
Yeah.
What have we got?
This took longer. This is one of the longer ones to research,
8,
actually.
9, 10, 11, 12.
So,
15.
that's a lot.
15. Oh my
I think
God.
Yeah.
2, 4, 6. As I said, musician, not a performer, not a mathematician. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10,
Yeah,
12,
15.
15.
Yeah, it is.
Ay, deluxe.
So we've got plenty to choose from then. So we won't all need to choose the same one.
No.
Yeah.
We can't anyway.
Nah.
So Georgie, would you like to go first, since you're our guest?
Oh, bless your soul. I'm going to go. I'll do 2. I'll go Bambi.
Is she allowed to?
Am I allowed? No.
Checking with the rule master here.
No, you know
Supposed
what?
to only have one.
All right, no. I'll keep to the. I'll stickler to the rules. Let's go. Let's go Bambi.
You can tell us what your shortlist. Oh, right.
Let's go Bambi.
I'm going to say that.
Yeah,
Bambi.
Bambi with Run It Wild, just there.
That would have been right.
Yeah,
Ah.
just a bop, just an absolute bop.
You want me to go next, do you?
Yeah.
Well, I had 3 on my shortlist, and Run It Wild was on there.
Nice.
But it then comes down to, and you'll probably find these weird choices, right? But between Speaking Tongues and International Entertainment.
That is
you
quite the
haven't mentioned that one.
contrast.
I know. So Run It Wild, I had it on there, but I didn't, as you remember, I didn't really say much about it. So it's like, I obviously like it, but it's a really tough choice between those two because they're quite different.
They're both
International
so different.
Entertainment. There we go.
There you go.
Entertainment.
Wow.
Wow.
I love Speaking Tongues just because it's so
Chaos. It's chaos. I love it.
So then, Lucy's rapidly looking through the track list now.
Well, the
trying to
problem
work
is
out.
neither of you picked the ones that I had on my
You want us
shortlist.
to knock a few out? did you?
Yeah, so that makes it even harder
well.
because now I've got like 5 songs still to pick from.
What's the short
I love
list?
it. Well, Eyes on the Highway,
Yep.
Go Mental,
Yep.
Run It Wild, Numb. Those 4. Also, I did have Speaking Tongues, I suppose.
I know what I'd pick out of that group.
What would you pick?
I know what I'd pick too.
Eyes on the Highway.
I'm also in agreement.
Oh, so I was thinking Go Mental.
Then go with Go Mental.
Go for
Then
Go
do
Mental.
it. Forget us.
Go Mental.
Yay!
I do feel a bit bad though because I know that Numb and Eyes on the Highway are like massive tracks, and
they are.
None of us have picked them.
No, but the playlist is not about the popularist vote, is it?
No, absolutely
It's
not.
about what we want and our guests want. And Lucy does often go mental. You know, you can see her going mental through the house most days. So. No, not really. Not really. She's very calm.
So thanks for listening, everyone. If you tune into the next episode, we're going to be joined by Sarah from Italy to talk about Under the Radar Volume 3.
Yes.
Before that, we need to say thank you to Georgie for joining us all the way from Australia.
Thank you, guys. I had a blast. I had a really wonderful time.
Thank you. We love your energy. You have very
thanks,
positive
guys.
vibes. We can feel them all the way over here in England.
Yeah.
Coming through the ether.
And it's been really, really nice to meet you as well.
I know. Well, hopefully we can, I don't know, if you ever come down here or I would probably go up there pretty soon anyway, hoping to.
Yeah.
But, oh man,
We've definitely got to meet up.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm still trying to convince
100%.
Lucy to go to Australia. She's, may have heard on other episodes, she's slightly worried about the bugs and things that you've got down there. But
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. You won't come across them. Stay in the cities, and then we won't go near them.
That's
there
what
you go.
Bobby said.
there you go, Melbourne.
Yeah,
Yeah. Cool. Well, okay. Well, thanks anyway for joining us.
Thank you, Georgie.
Thank you.
Lovely
Hope
to have
see
you
you
on.
soon.
See you
Bye.
soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Robbie Williams Rewind.